Bulldog Nation.
Welcome to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
A terrific day of football ahead.
Dogs need that kind of toughness in every game.
He's a big play kind of guy.
So much on the line, and the fans are ready for it.
It's going to feel like an earthquake.
This is the NAPA Tailgate Show. Quality parts, helpful people. That's NAPA know-how. Today's show is brought to you in part by Comcast. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. AAA, expect something more. By Comcast Business, beyond fast. Georgia Farm Bureau, always the home team. By EasyGo, a new element of innovation. Alpha Insurance, proudly serving Georgia for over 30 years. Georgia United Credit Union, the official credit union of Georgia Athletics. And by Kroger, fresh food, low prices. This is the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Georgia 1st and 10 on the Tech 44. Fromm going deep. He's got Hardman breaking open. Touchdown over the shoulder in the end zone, running in stride. 44 yards. Touchdown, Georgia.
Jake Fromm, Mecole Hardman, and Kirby Smart's Bulldogs putting a whooping on Georgia Tech and helping to grease the path for the Ramblin' Rex coach to escape now before the rivalry really gets lopsided. Today, our red-hot dogs move on from swatting Yellow Jackets to big game hunting as the top-ranked Elephants/Crimson Tide of Alabama and Georgia meet for the SEC title. Hello again, Bulldog Nation, from the Scana sideline at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. This is Neil Honda Williamson. Joining me on the 32-yard line are a pair of UGA legends, Eric Zier and Lauren Smith. Above us in the press box is the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard. This is the NAPA Tailgate Show. And today our Bulldogs take on the undefeated Crimson Tide and their tidal wave of offense, setting a school record for scoring this year with 558 points. Surfing atop the crest of that tsunami is Hawaiian quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who has completed 70% of his passes for more than 3,100 yards, 36 TDs, and only 2 interceptions.
He's improved tremendously. I mean, he was really good in that half, but you got to remember they had 2 really young linemen in the game. They got a lot of receivers that were playing at that point that were really young, that have grown up.
He is really good. In fact, he's probably going to win the Heisman Trophy this year based on those numbers you just threw out there, Neil. Just a marvelous season for Tagovailoa. He's been spectacular. We saw it firsthand in that second half last year, as Kirby pointed out there. He was really good in that second half, but he's been even better this year. Despite the early season controversy, if you will, as far as quarterback between Tua and Jalen Hurts, who's going to start, who's going to win the job, and then they made the switch after the championship game last year. They've kind of gone on without missing a beat. I mean, their offense is probably the best in the country. They're averaging 49 points a game. They've just steamrolled everybody they've played. They haven't played a close game at all, and it's all been led by their quarterback, who's had an outstanding season.
Yeah, Scott, he has had an outstanding season, but he's not invincible. This Alabama team is not invincible. I'm tired of the talk, quite honestly, that this is the best college football team of all time. This is our time. We got talent. We got players. We got depth. We understand who these guys are as well. We went toe-to-toe with them last year in the national championship game. Every single player, I don't care who you are or what level you're at, you can have your confidence shaken. You can get rattled. You can turn the football over. Our job today, and Bulldog Nation, if you're listening, when you get inside this stadium, get loud, because everything we can do, from crowd noise to the defensive looks to the hits that we put on Tua and every part of this Alabama team, if we take the fight to them, today can be ours. As good as they've been, it doesn't matter today. We got to be better than them today.
All right, Zier, how many times have you watched that tweet that went out with Kirby now today?
A lot. And I'm going to watch it a lot more before this game kicks off.
You're ready to eat, huh?
Ready to eat.
Oh, he's ready to eat indeed. Well, we can't allow Tua to just stand in the pocket and throw all day. But the Tide has surrendered only 11 sacks this season. Add to it the fact that UGA finished near the bottom of the conference in sacks with just 20. And Lauren, how do we magically become a high-pressure team, or should we?
Do you remember Jacksonville end-around pass Applebee's, Washington?
Sure.
After the game, what did Richard say? I rose to the occasion. That's exactly what this team has got to do. It's got to rise to the occasion. And I don't think there's any question emotionally they're prepared. They're not afraid. They were here last year, gave a good account of themselves, and based on our analysis, should have won the ball game. So now it's an opportunity to have that glory in your grasp. And I really think this team's going to give a good account of itself. As Eric says, that this is really the two best teams in the SEC, so that means the talent's got to be comparable. Georgia's had the edge in recruiting in the last couple of years. Nick Saban has had it historically, but there's enough good players on the Georgia team. I think we might be a little faster than we were last year. I agree with Eric. We can win it. That don't mean we will, but I think we can.
Very good. Well, Tua isn't the only sophomore QB in this contest who has grown and thrived since the new year.
The fact that he's played 11 games, 12 games, I don't even know how many games he played. That has more to do with than who he played. The fact that he's played and gotten experience, and he's gone against our defense all spring. He's gone against our defense all fall, and then he goes in all these games and plays, and that's more valuable than just playing Alabama.
That's Coach Kirby Smart talking about our boy and Jake Fromm, and boy, has he ever improved. He's had a phenomenal season this year, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the game, overshadowed coming into this game because of Tua and the great year that he has had. But listen, you don't have to look too hard or too far to see how good Jake Fromm has played. And after one little hiccup against LSU, he has been playing without question elite football. He's been magnificent on third down. He continues to get this football team in the right spot, and he is a key ingredient to Georgia regaining its identity. We want to ground and pound. We want to wear you out with that big offensive line, but as needed, we're going to put this football team on the back and on the right arm of Jake Fromm, and he can absolutely carry us to the promised land and where we want to go. He's that good.
All right, I'm going to stay on this theme of Alabama as masters of the universe. Scott, a handful of opponents have played the Tide tough for a couple of quarters, but Alabama's been relentless as an attacking machine right until the final whistle. It's been blowout city time and again.
Yeah, they're the only team in the last century to beat every opponent by more than 3 touchdowns or something like that. Their closest game was Texas A&M back in September, and that was a 22-point win for Alabama. They beat Auburn by 31 last week. They beat Mississippi State, who has one of the better defenses in the country, by 24. They beat LSU by 29. Those were both shutouts, by the way, over LSU and Mississippi State, Western Division rivals for them. You know, one of the moments that I thought that this Alabama team showed some vulnerability was a couple of weeks ago when they were actually playing the Citadel. We were watching that game. We were playing UMass that day. We had that game on in the booth, and it was a tie game at half. It was 10-10. Alabama comes out in the second half, fumbles the second half kickoff. The Citadel recovers it in Alabama territory. Alabama defense forces the Citadel to try a field goal. A 40-yard kick, they make it. They take the lead 13-10, but wait. They were penalized 5 yards for a false start, so they had to back up to the 45, try the kick again. They missed it. At that point, that's when Alabama took over the game. They took the ball there, they went down and scored, and they didn't stop scoring, and they ended up beating the Citadel by 33 points in that ball game. Yeah. But that was a moment when Alabama showed that they were vulnerable, that maybe their heads weren't where they should be. But every other game this season, it's just been blowout city. 42, 39, 29 points, 37 points over Tennessee. It's impressive stuff, and there's no denying that. But Georgia, as you guys have been pointing out, Georgia just has to be the better team today. All of that stuff doesn't matter today. If Georgia is the better team today, we'll come home with some hardware.
Well, if there's one thing we can bank on from this mentor-protege, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart matchup, in a game of this magnitude, both coaches will attempt to achieve a yin-yang balance of their players getting sky high while simultaneously keeping their feet on the ground.
I don't know that it helps at all. I think the biggest thing is preparing your team for the right way to play and not getting overwhelmed by the moment. If anything, I've probably seen more teams lose it in the warm-ups, just trying to get all amped up and all that.
That's Coach Kirby Smart, and he has done a marvelous job in this program. You're going to see it again today of not approaching any week different from the other week. Big games, we know that they're big. There's going to be some increased emotion, but the way we prepare, it is preparing against our standard of excellence. And I'll tell you, for good teams, moments like today, the game slows down because you are so hyper-focused at the task at hand. You're going to be amped up. It's going to be chaotic. There's going to be chaos here in the inside this stadium. There's chaos leading up to this football game. But for great teams and great players, these are the moments because you are so locked into the job at hand. You are so focused in on what you've got to do to be successful that the game can actually slow down. And I expect for both of these teams, it's exactly what happens today.
It's number 1 Alabama versus number 4 Georgia, a rematch of sorts from the national championship game held in this same building 11 months ago.
We got to put the best plan together we can to play our best game against Alabama, not the Alabama last year, not the Georgia last year. So that's motivation for a lot of people, and that's the media talk. But for us, it's what do I have to do to play my best game? That's what I want to work on.
Lauren Smith, the rematch angle is an alluring storyline, but as Coach Smart explains, these two teams are decidedly different organisms than they were last January.
Well, I think you can look at the LSU game. Georgia became a team after that. Sometimes losing can redirect you. I would never say losing is good, but we became redirected, became committed, and we started growing. And that growth pattern, I think, is an advantage we have today in that we're peaking at the right time. Very significant when you consider how teams fare at the end of the season. Now, I never thought it was good that we played so badly against Auburn last year, but we had a chance to come back, and the national champion has lost at least one game. LSU won with 2 losses in the last dozen years. So losing is going to be a fact of life with today's talent and with the kind of scheduling that we have. You can't fix your schedule like General Neyland, never playing a tough team, first of all, and certainly never playing 2 back-to-back.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Our engineer is Tony Schiavone, assisted by Chris Schiavone, right here on our SCANA sideline. The studio producer of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show is Zach Jewell, and as a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, NAPA Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's NAPA know-how. The unbeaten Crimson Tide has been unstoppable in 2018, smothering all opponents by 20 points or more, as Scott mentioned. Some longtime observers have noted that should Alabama win tonight through the playoffs, this may be the best Alabama team of all time. That's okay. Rumor has it that the Bulldogs went down to a nearby stream, retrieved 5 smooth stones for use in the slingshot today. Goliath needs to fall, folks. Coach Kirby Smart joins us 3 times for exclusive interviews between now and kickoff. It's the SEC Championship game on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
NAPA know-how.
You're there every game, same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the diehard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and NAPA know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with NAPA know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's NAPA know-how.
NAPA know-how.
Did you know Georgia is one of the leading producers of pecans in the entire world? That's how hard Georgia farmers work to help cultivate the state's economy. And that's why Georgia Farm Bureau cultivates farmers with agricultural research and assistance programs and access to benefits that save families money, like home and auto insurance. You can join online for just a few bucks a year. So, get cracking.
Bulldogs, Crimson Tide. This is the SEC Championship.
At Georgia Power, we're committed to providing clean, safe, affordable, and reliable energy. And for over 130 years, we've also committed to being stewards of the community. Last year alone, our employees volunteered over 147,000 hours of their own time, while the Georgia Power Foundation donated more than $1.3 million in scholarships to students across Georgia. These are just a few of the ways we're working to strengthen our communities in the place we call home. Learn more at georgiapower.com/community.
There's a common misconception that all chicken sandwiches from the South are the same. Cue Zaxby's new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other, a perfected classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Both served with crinkle fries in a 22-ounce tray. The Southern chicken sandwich will never be the same. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Alabama brings a man up on the corner, and Green comes back. They're coming up behind him. He doesn't see him. He throws a long pass to Fred Gibson, who caught the ball. He fell down, but he caught it on his back. Fred Gibson, a sensational catch down on the goal line with Madison, the corner, with him. Caught a one-handed ball lying on his whatchamacallit, and Fred Gibson scored, sliding in the end zone, and it's 13-3.
Lying on his whatchamacallit. Is that vintage Munson or what? Georgia had never defeated Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium prior to the Man Enough game of 2002. And not only did David Green, Fred Gibson, and company break the Tuscaloosa Hex, but under second-year coach Mark Richt, the Bulldogs won the SEC title later that year. We will try for a repeat today under Coach Kirby Smart here in Atlanta. Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show and the SEC Championship game. Here's our Lauren Smith with one of the heroes of that 2002 title team. Lauren?
Yes, happy to have Bert Jones speaking to us. Bert's been a very, very successful person after playing football. You want to see your players do well when graduation comes about. And Bert's now a member of the Georgia Senate and a very successful businessman, working with his father and family down in Jackson, Georgia. So, Bert, what do you remember about 2002? DeCorey Bryant blocked the punt. You picked it up, almost scored, and it went from there in the direction of Georgia all across the board. Georgia dominated the game. What do you remember?
Hey, Lauren, how you doing today? It was a good year. That 2002 team was a really good team. It was like the replay was saying that was the first time that we ever beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa that year. Went 13-1, won and got in the SEC championship off a miracle game on the Plains against Auburn that year, and it was just a really good team, and it was just a great thing to be a part of, and looking forward to seeing Georgia whip up on Alabama today in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Well, we're glad you're drinking the potion too. Eric is confident that we're going to win, so I don't know what he had for breakfast, but he just didn't get that feeling today. He's had it for several weeks now, and I think all of us are sort of emotionally encouraged by the fact that we've just gotten better and better and better. What do you see as the turning point of this Georgia team this year?
Same thing. I've been saying for weeks now. Everybody has been talking about how good Alabama is and everything, and they are a good football team, no question. But I've just watched Georgia get better and better every week, and the defense is coming to its own, and as well as the offense, and I just think they're a really complete team. Kicking game is very good, and I just have that feeling that our kids. I think last year, if there was a time for our boys to be intimidated, it would have been in that national title game last year, and they showed that they can play with them. And a lot of those kids are back for this game, and so I don't think there's going to be any. I don't think there's going to be any type uncertainty about whether or not they can play with them. And so I've just been very excited about watching this team progress and get better every week.
Well, Bert, you're a wonderful story. You grew up a Georgia fan. Your father, Bill Jones, brought the family over. You parked in the pharmacy lot, and then you got out and played touch football with your brothers and family and friends and neighbors, and then you'd go to the stadium and stand at the sideline by the hedges and admiring the Bulldogs, never being sure that you would someday walk on that field as a guy wearing a red jersey. Now, when you look back on your career, how satisfying is your life story as a Bulldog?
Oh, I mean, obviously, University of Georgia is very near and dear to my heart, and getting to go there and graduate from this university and play football and earn a scholarship and doing all those things were great. I enjoy coming back and bringing my kids, 9 and 6 years old now, bringing them back to ball games and getting to have them enjoy the same experiences that my siblings and I did. And, I mean, it's just a great to be a part of the tradition. It's great to watch the next generation of student athletes. And like I said, I'm no different than the guys on that program with you. We bleed red and black and love the University of Georgia, and this is always exciting to be a part of the university in whatever capacity that we're in currently.
Well, that's great, Bert. I'm sitting by Greg McGarity, hearing all of that. He wanted to know if you're going to write a check.
There's always opportunities to that, and it always helps when you win. It's easier to write those things. But I appreciate that.
All right, well, great to have you on, Bert. You are indeed a great Bulldog. Dan McGill would love you like he loved Greg McGarity, whom we'll be talking to shortly.
All right. Good to tell Greg to say hello, and y'all have a good one. Thanks, Lauren.
All right, thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you, Bert Jones from the 2002 team. What a big play by Bert. Bulldog fans, tackle your holiday shopping list at the UGA Bookstore. The UGA Bookstore has the best in Georgia gear for everyone, including great brands like Nike, Peter Millar, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA Bookstore is located next to Sanford Stadium right up until Christmas, or online 24/7 at UGAbookstore.com. The UGA Bookstore, it's where the dogs shop.
And dog fans, join us this Sunday from 10 until noon, live from the Hilltop Grill, as hosts Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler break down all of the action from today's SEC Championship game and our beat down of Bama. Hilltop Grill, located on 2310 West Broad Street in Athens.
All right, thank you, Z. Thank you, Lauren. Before we break, a note. At age 94, George Herbert Walker Bush, the 41st president, died today. President Bush was a great American hero. After the Pearl Harbor bombing, he enlisted at the age of 18 and became the youngest fighter pilot for the U.S. He served the nation as a congressman, as an ambassador to China, as director of the CIA. He was a vice president for 8 years, and, of course, president from 1989 until January of 1993. He served the U.S. with bravery, honor, and integrity. And we salute President George Herbert Walker Bush today. Eric Zier returns to talk Georgia offense in less than 10 minutes. Are we in store for a scoring shootout at the Benz between top-ranked Alabama and our number 4 Dogs? We'll find out on the Bulldog Sports Network.
At Georgia Power, we're committed to providing clean, safe, affordable, and reliable energy. And for over 130 years, we've also committed to being stewards of the community. Last year alone, our employees volunteered over 147,000 hours of their own time, while the Georgia Power Foundation donated more than $1.3 million in scholarships to students across Georgia. These are just a few of the ways we're working to strengthen our communities in the place we call home. Learn more at georgiapower.com/community.
We Dogs are known for always giving 110%, both on and off the field. But no matter how hard we work, we can't deny that getting sick is easy. Luckily, getting care is too. As the official healthcare provider of the Georgia Bulldogs, Piedmont is committed to getting us better. With urgent care, same-day appointments, virtual visits from your smartphone or desktop, and Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, they've got the care you need when you need it. Booking an appointment is only a click away. So for game day and every day, get better at piedmont.org/UGA.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Does your business need a lift with its current warehouse equipment? Well, Thompson Lift Truck has you covered. As the exclusive provider of Hyundai forklifts in Atlanta, Thompson Lift Truck's Superstore is your one-stop shop for forklift equipment, sales, rentals, parts, and service. Thompson Lift Truck has what it takes to keep your business moving without a hitch. Thompson Lift Truck also services all makes and models of forklifts so we can service your entire fleet. Call 404-361-8370 or visit theliftrucksuperstore.com.
Termite infestation. At Breda Pest Management, they don't use bait stations spread apart by 20 feet each. At Breda, we stack the line of scrimmage and leave no gaps in coverage by liquid treating with Termidor. Plus, Breda locks in their termite renewals for under $200. So if you're paying over $300 every year for termite protection, you're paying too much. Get better termite protection and more value, all for a better price with Breda Pest Management. BREDA Pest.com.
You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Bama's linebackers a little close. One of them in particular snapped to Green. They're coming on him. Green going to throw a long fly pattern to Terrence Edwards. Touchdown! Perfectly led play. Green got clobbered after the play, but he threw a perfect strike. Terrence got one step on the defensive back and just came across the goal line as he caught it. Terrence Edwards, a great catch, and David Green really laid that ball in there.
There's Greeny again, this time to Terrence Edwards in 2002 in that man-enough victory at Tuscaloosa, sailing to the SEC title, and we're back in the championship game again today. This is the Dogs' 7th appearance since 2002. You're tuned to the NAPA Tailgate Show, and Lauren has a guest here on the Scana sideline. Lauren.
A guest who has to be smiling. Anytime you're good in any sport, you're happy if you're the athletic director, but you probably are most happy when the football team does well, because that means that there's a lot more to spread around financially and otherwise. Emotionally, it means a lot to sports like equestrian when they bring recruits into Athens and they know they're going to get to see a good football game. So this is a reward for everybody, not just the football program. Am I right, Greg?
Well, it takes so many people to get the job done, and of course Kirby and the young men that he leads the way. But certainly success breeds success, and we've just been very fortunate to be in this game now 2 years in a row. And Lauren, it's just great to be here in this environment, being able to compete for a SEC championship and maybe even greater things ahead.
Well, now you deal with other athletic directors around the country. What do they say? How do they, when they talk to you about what we have going here with the Mercedes-Benz Dome and the SEC Championship on an annual basis in Atlanta?
Well, we're all trying to do the same thing. There are 13 other ADs that are trying to get to Atlanta. So just as when Georgia doesn't get to the SEC Championship, we're congratulating our peers in the business for getting the job done. But, you know, it's been pretty nice the last 2 years having others come up and congratulate you, which is really just a testimony again to Kirby, and our student athletes and our fans have just been so fantastic. And it's really been a great story to tell the past 2 years.
Well, Greg Sankey will be on with us a little later, the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. But I'd also like to have your opinion. I don't think Roy Kramer, whose vision it was to do what we are enjoying today, has gotten enough credit. He really was the guy that got all this done.
Well, everyone that sat in that chair, from Roy Kramer to Mike Sly to Greg Sankey, to have the vision to play this game in Atlanta. We could be in Charlotte or another location playing in the rain, and we experienced that the first 2 years in Birmingham, Alabama, in the outdoor stadium there. But you know, the leadership of the conference has always been in great hands. We have tremendous confidence in the leadership, and we're just happy that we had that the group and the presidents had the foresight to take this game, make it a happening in Atlanta every year. It's a great venue, as we know, as was the Georgia Dome, but a lot of great insight and vision to make it all happen.
Well, Greg, it's great to be with you and happy to see you smiling as AD. The rest of the Georgia folks who are fans, but especially alumni, are so pleased, really outspokenly pleased with your decision to hire Kirby Smart, which has brought us great dividends. And we thank you for all that, and thank you for being our friend of the broadcast. And we go back over to Neil Williamson.
I echo everything that Lauren just said. Thank you, Greg. Great to have you on with us, and great A-Day. All right, thank you very much. From 1901 to 1965, the Bulldogs and the Crimson Tide squared off 51 times. That's 28% of the opportunities. After that, the rivalry, for all intents and purposes, almost disappeared. From 1966 to 1989, the programs collided on just 6 occasions. That's a 25% meeting rate. Today's contest marks the 8th meeting between the border rivals in the last 17 seasons. 3 of those contests arising because of the SEC Championship or BCS play. We'll hear from Coach Kirby Smart and his exclusive take on today's showdown between number 1 and number 4. That's coming up. Well, actually, we'll have 3 different interviews with Coach Smart between now and kickoff at 4:10. Eric Zier is about 10 minutes away. Stay with us. This is the Bulldog Sports Network.
I'm John Addison, a lifetime Bulldog fan, Georgia graduate, and the chairman of distribution for Primerica, the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. Primerica is a Main Street company for Main Street families. We help people from all walks of life achieve their goals and dreams by offering common sense financial solutions to today's challenges. As a Georgia-based company, Primerica is proud to continue to sponsor Georgia football. Go Dogs!
Of course you know that if your car battery's dead, you can reach for a AAA membership card to come to your rescue. But did you know that a AAA card has you covered with more than roadside assistance? Like with a cruise or vacation package, a savings account, discounts at thousands of locations, plus auto, home, and life insurance, free identity theft protection, and more. So get a AAA card and expect something more. To learn more, go to AAA.com or visit your local AAA office.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
When the deadline clock is ticking, an unreliable network can cost your business money. That's why you need Comcast Business. Our gig speed network is fast, and we go beyond fast with the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup, which means that even if something like construction accidentally knocks out the power, you can still upload that big presentation, email important clients, invoice customers, and not take a hit to your company's bottom line. For a limited time, switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 12/31/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours and requires Comcast Business Internet.
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Georgia will get a crack from the 25-yard line. They'll line up in the I formation with Thomas Brown, the tailback. Play action fake to Brown. Stafford wants to go for it all right here. He throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! Georgia wins! Mikey Henderson on the reception. One and done, baby.
It was on that night in Tuscaloosa that the Bulldog Nation realized that our play-by-play duties would be in very good hands once Larry Munson retired. Scott Howard with the classic call and Georgia's stunning overtime victory over Alabama 2007. Z, you were on that broadcast.
I was on that broadcast.
Yeah, was that your first game?
That was my very first game.
And that was
what a great
fun one.
What a great memory.
Oh, that was a fun memory. Same 2 teams for the SEC title here today. Time for the Bulldogs in case you missed it with Zaire and Hondo. Georgia and Alabama have faced off 68 times, but it wasn't until the 27th meeting that the two met in Athens.
The Bulldogs and Crimson Tide's first football encounter took place in Columbus in 1895.
A Georgia victory.
In their second meeting 6 years later, the teams tied 0-0 in Montgomery.
After that, for the next 24 games, the Dogs and the Tide clashed in Columbus twice, Montgomery and Atlanta 4 times apiece, Tuscaloosa once, and 15 times in Birmingham, but never in Athens.
Alabama played on home turf for 21 of the first 26 games against Georgia.
Well, no wonder they have a commanding lead in this series, right? Okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, thank you, Z. Let's check in now with Lauren and his Primerica athlete.
In his first career start, sophomore Malik Herring, a native of South Georgia, had a career-high 5 tackles, including a half sack and 1.5 tackles for loss during the 45-21 rout of Georgia Tech last week. Herring helped anchor a defensive front that kept the Yellow Jackets to just 128 yards rushing after Georgia Tech came into the game leading the country at 353 yards a game. We'd like to thank our friends, led by Mike Burrows of Primerica, for helping us honor a Bulldog Player of the Week each week during the season. We now go back over to Neil Williamson.
All right, thank you, Lauren. We're sitting on the 32-yard line here at the Benz. Bama has Tua and their tidal wave offense, but the Dogs have been lighting up the scoreboard in the stat books too. Right? Georgia's total offense in our last 3 games, 516 yards versus Auburn, 701 versus UMass, 447 against Georgia Tech. We'll bring Eric Zaire back in 2 minutes to discuss the Dogs' potent attack. It's the SEC Championship, and you are tuned to the NAPA Tailgate Show. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network.
This is Kirby Smart, head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs. The game of football requires serious discipline, remarkable talent, and a ton of effort every day. It's the same with the truck I drive. Ford F-Series works hard, plays hard, and gets the job done right. That's why it's been America's best-selling truck 41 years straight, leading the truck game year after year. See your local Ford dealer for big savings on F-150, the official truck of the Georgia Bulldogs. And me, Kirby Smart.
As soon as we brought our son home from the hospital, I wanted to put him in a protective bubble. I'm Chastity Maney from Country Financial, and like most parents, I want to make sure my son is protected throughout his life. Fortunately, I know Country Financial will also be there to help his dad and me along the way, as he gets his license and first car, and as we pack that car to leave for college.
Find a representative near you at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
Dogs. Crimson Tide. This is the SEC Championship game.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Holiday Inn Express wants to let you in on a little secret. There's still time to get at least 20% off at holidayinexpress.com during our annual sale. We'll even throw in free breakfast. Just kidding. Breakfast is always included in your stay at Holiday Inn Express. Book now and save at holidayinexpress.com. Terms apply.
Whoever said less is more hasn't spent enough time in the Southeastern Conference. Here, it's all about more. More techie, more frenzy, more friendly, more rowdy, more quirky, non-negotiable traditions, more time of your life, more ways to turn 120 credit hours into all kinds of open doors. More of everything the college experience is all about. Yeah, in the SEC, it just means more.
This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30, he's got a convoy, he's got to go, touchdown!
Now back to more of the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Shotgun snap to Fromm, handoff, Holyfield, breaks a tackle, 5, dives from the 4, did he get there? Yeah, touchdown! Boy, he leaped from the 4-yard line and just flew across the pylon into the far left corner of the end zone for the touchdown.
I've been very pleased with Elijah. Number one, his leadership, more so than his ability to get to the pylon, has been tremendous.
Kirby Smart with well-deserved praise for Elijah Holyfield. Elijah and the 4th-ranked Bulldogs versus number 1 Alabama from MBS in Atlanta. Lauren Smith, Scott Howard, Neil Williamson, Eric Zier on your NAPA Tailgate Show.
I think we're executing as an offense better. We're playing cleaner together. We're doing a lot better on 3rd down. So anytime you convert on 3rd down, you're staying on the field, and that just ultimately leads to scoring more points.
There's Georgia QB1 Jake Fromm, and Eric, he's understating just how effective the UGA offense has been of late. The Bulldogs have rushed for 200-plus yards on 4 consecutive outings. Georgia Tech, they had been stingy against the run, allowing 138 yards per game until last Saturday when we just tore up Tech for 285 rushing yards.
Yeah, Hondo, no doubt about it. Really, after the LSU game and our commitment to get back to who we are offensively, which is we're going to run the football, we are going to punish you, we're going to control the game, we're going to put the football in Jake Fromm's hands on 3rd down, and when you have to get aggressive and when you drop another safety into the box, we're going to unleash the great talent we have outside and push the football down the field vertically. We've seen it work now for 2 years. Got away from a little bit early in the year, but I will tell you, a healthy DeAndre Swift is helping that matter.
In traditional football strategy, we keep the ball on the ground, control the clock, keep Tua off the field. But Georgia's offensive proficiency in 2018, it kind of refutes that concept, Z. Passing, catching, running. Heck, fire, even Coach Smart, never one to brag. He didn't flinch when discussing the talent this Bulldog receiving corps brings to the field vis-a-vis Alabama's.
They're talented, man. They get vertical, they run routes, they stick their feet in the ground, and they've got a good guy throwing it to them. But so do we. We've got a good wide receiver corps. We've got a deep wide receiver corps across the board. A lot of guys have stepped up, and Jake allows those guys to make plays.
That's Coach Kirby Smart talking about the talent that we have. We're under the radar right now a little bit offensively. All the hype is on this Alabama offense. Well-deserved, by the way. Alabama has been explosive all year long, but we've got playmakers at every position. I don't care what opposing defenses do to us right now. Alabama, historically a cover 2 team. They want to get you behind the chains. Then they're going to get exotic with some of their blitz looks, drop down to single safety. Regardless of what they do, they get into cover 2, we can run the football with Holyfield, with DeAndre Swift. We've got Isaac Nada that has really come into his own this year at tight end, along with others. You want to go single safety? Alabama wants to get man-to-man and see if their athletes can match up with our athletes on the outside. Have at it. That's when we unleash Ridley, Holloman, Mecole Hardman. We've got quarterbacks that can launch it as well. We've got playmakers all over the field. The past 4 or 5 games, we have seen them execute at a remarkably high level. All the talks about Alabama, Georgia is executing just like that too. Let's see if they can stop us.
Z is fired up, folks, I'm telling you, all morning. Well, we're not going anywhere if the Bulldogs' offensive line can't perform against an Alabama defense that sacked Auburn's Jarrett Stidham 3 times and recorded 8 QB hurries.
None of this happens without the protection, and that's one of the keys to this game is, number one, keeping the quarterback upright because of the number of sacks and this disruption they have, but our guys protecting the quarterback well and being able to have balance because you don't want to live in 3rd and longs against this team.
Our offensive line is not Auburn's offensive line. It was a weak spot for Auburn this year. It is the strength of this team. Even with the injuries that we've had, we've been dinged up. We've been able to bring playmaker in, 5-star guy after 5-star guy that has been next man up, performed remarkably well. It's going to be strength on strength when you look at the interior of this line of scrimmage. I put my money on our offensive line. The job they've done all year, I think it continues today.
All right, thank you, Eric. Great job. Eric Zier, man. I picked him up this morning. The guy's been jumping out of his skin. He is fired up for the Dogs. We know you are too. We certainly are here on the 32-yard line at the Benz. Time now for us to check that Comcast business scoreboard. Let's see. You've got Texas and Oklahoma. They're in the Big 12 championship game in Arlington, a rematch of a game that Texas won earlier this year, 45-42. And with just over a minute to play in the second quarter, the Longhorns have the lead on the Sooners 14-13. Elsewhere, number 23, Iowa State leads Drake 20-14. Drake, I wonder if he'll play Hotline Bling. Oh, wait, never mind. Appalachian State leads Louisiana 14-6. But NC State, they're at halftime in both of those previous games. Late in the second, NC State 27-0 over East Carolina. At halftime in Columbia, South Carolina leads Akron 28-3. And at halftime, Virginia Tech with a 31-6 lead on Marshall. Later on today, you have number 2 Clemson against Pittsburgh in the ACC title game. That's at 8 tonight. Also at 8, number 21 Northwestern versus number 6 Ohio State. They're in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game. And the Pac-12 championship game is in Santa Clara, 17th ranked Utah versus number 11 Washington. That scoreboard update been brought to you by Comcast Business Beyond Fast. Coming up next, perhaps the past 2 decades' foremost authority on SEC football. He is standing here on the sideline with us. Tony Barnhart joins us on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
If you're looking for smart ways to save money, just stop by your neighborhood Kroger. Right now, it's time for the Buy 5, Save 5 event. Just choose from a great selection of participating items. And when you buy any 5, you'll save $5 instantly at checkout. Choose from select items like Kroger brand cheese, all laundry detergent, General Mills or Kellogg's cereal, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com or use the app for more info. The Buy 5, Save 5 event is on now. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Hurry to Kroger right now for 3 days of digital deals. Through Saturday, you can take home essentials like select varieties of Tostitos tortilla chips or Ruffles potato chips on sale for $1.49. And select packages of Johnsonville sausages on sale for $2.49. Visit Kroger.com or the app and download your digital coupons today. You can use them up to 5 times in one transaction. But hurry, the sale ends Saturday. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
In football, a triple threat is a player who can do it all. For barbecue, Dreamland is a triple threat. You can dine in, carry out, or let us cater your next event. For the ultimate tailgating experience, nothing beats a rack of legendary Dreamland ribs with your favorite sides. If you got a taste for winning, treat your team to Dreamland. There ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. A proud supporter of the Georgia Bulldogs.
No one comes to the Southeastern Conference looking for less. This is where you gladly step up, sign up, and raise your hand for a heaping helping of more. More ways to challenge and push yourself, more people from more countries to meet and learn from, more opportunities to impact your community, both locally and globally. Oh, we celebrate championships like no other, but that's nowhere close to the whole story. Yeah, in the SEC, it just means more.
Setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
2nd down and 8 now for the Bulldogs at their own 27. Moore has Hodson wide out to the left, drops back, looking for Hodson, throws, it is complete. Hodson levels the ball off to Taylor. Taylor's in the open at the 50, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, Georgia touchdown! Georgia's in the huddle. Will they go for one in the tie? No, they will go for 2 in the win. Moore with a slant right. Has Wheeler in motion, rolls out, looking, fakes the throw. Nuss throws. 2 points. Bradford Stadium has gone wild. Kirby Moore passing to Pat Hodson in the end zone for 2 points. With 2 minutes and 8 seconds left. Your score, Georgia 18, Alabama 17.
Now, I was just a youngin' back in New York in 1965. Too young to remember that game, but these two fellas, well, Tony, you're not that old, but Lauren, I know you remember that game from 1965, the famous flea flicker win for Georgia over Alabama.
Oh, yes, I was there. I was Dan McGill's assistant, and I was enjoying life. Freshly married and working for the Dogs. Couldn't have had a more exciting and wonderful experience. Tony, how old were you down in Greene County in 1965?
When that game was played, Lauren, I had just turned 12 years old, and I was getting into college football, and I was sitting in my home in Union Point, Georgia, when it went more to Hodgson to Taylor, and I am jumping down like crazy. Yeah, I had a blast.
Well, McGill said it better. More to Hodgson to Taylor to glory. That was his take, and it certainly was a glorious opportunity for Vince Dooley. I tell you something about that game. That was the first televised game on the Georgia campus for Georgia to participate in network television. Jim Simpson was the play-by-play announcer. Never forget, he introduced me to Michener, the great author. I've read a lot of his books. And Bud Wilkinson did color. And after that, I developed a warm friendship with Bud Wilkinson that lasted all of his life. So great memories. And if you remember, Vince was invited to come to Oklahoma to interview for the job.
Absolutely.
After the season. You know why? Because Bud Wilkinson was so taken by the staff, Vince and his staff.
And that, Lauren, that was the same Georgia team that then went on the road and beat Michigan, right?
Right.
Incredible win. Rose Bowl champions, I believe.
They were the defending Rose Bowl champion, and nobody gave Georgia a chance in that game. And I remember, I don't remember if Georgia called timeout. I think so, but Vince was talking, and I was down on the field by that time, to his brother Bill, offensive coordinator and close confidant. He turned to Bud Wilkinson and said, "We're going for 2." Bud was caught up in all this. He says, "Well, we've got to."
We've got to.
We're talking with Tony Barnhart, Georgia graduate from Greene County, played football for Georgia Letterman, Charlton Vesey. Wonderful friend of ours through the years. Charlton Vesey, such a great guy. And you went on to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You became a very successful writer, and then you've been with CBS. Not anything left for you to do, is there?
Well, I'm having a lot of fun now. This is believe it or not, it's my 5th year with the SEC Network. And I'll never forget when that opportunity came along 5 years ago. I told my wife, Maria, I said, if the SEC Network makes us an offer, we're going to have to consider it. She said, "No, sir. If the SEC makes us an offer, you are going to take it." And I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, the game. You had some interesting points there as we chit-chatted before coming on the air. Share that with the audience.
The biggest current concern I have for Georgia today, I'm not concerned about Georgia's athleticism. They are athletic enough to play with Alabama and to make it an incredibly competitive game. I believe, Lauren, I've been doing this a long time. This is the deepest, most talented set of receivers Alabama's ever had in their history. They've always had a Julio Jones. They've always had an Amari Cooper. They've always had a Calvin Ridley. Now they got four of those guys plus a tight end. You walk this tightrope when you play Alabama between their incredible running game and their ability to beat you deep. And that's how they turn the game on you. That's what they did to Auburn last week. It's 17-14 and a half. 4th or 5th play in the second half, they go up top, touchdown, game's over. That's the biggest concern I have for Georgia.
That said, can Georgia win?
Georgia can win. There's no doubt, because Georgia has the athleticism to do it. And honestly, when you look at it from a psychological standpoint, where we're sitting right now, Lauren, Georgia came within an eyelash of beating Alabama. So the guys know they can play with Alabama. A lot of teams lose to Alabama. They're beat before the game starts. They're beat during warm-ups. They look at that Alabama roster and go, "Oh my goodness, can we hang with them?" Georgia has no doubts about that. Now they have to go out and execute and do what they know they could do.
All right, good analysis, and we thank you for being with us. Tony Barnhart, a Georgia graduate, journalism graduate. A lot of journalism graduates on this bench here, Neil, and we go back over to you.
All right, thanks. Great to see you, neighbor. All right, Tony Barnhart, Lauren Smith, Eric Zier, Scott Howard, the Shivani father-son team of Tony and Chris, and Zach Jewell back in the Bulldog Studios here with your entire network broadcast today. Heck, and then we'll have Kevin and Jeff after the game. We're here until Tuesday, I think, folks, but we're all fired up for tonight's SEC championship game. Dog Nation, for all your information needs, be sure to log on to GeorgiaDogs.com. From tracking event results to exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage, GeorgiaDogs.com has you covered. Also, be sure to check out the G-Shop for exclusive releases of Nike sideline official apparel just like the coaches wear. Visit GeorgiaDogs.com and the G-Shop today. Alabama leads the all-time series, 39 wins, 25 defeats, and 4 ties. Stay with us. We'll hear from legendary Georgia players Eric Zier and Kevin Butler about today's SEC title game within the next 20 minutes. Plus, up next, today's Make the Call, presented by Ken Nugent on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
I'm attorney Ken Nugent, and I'm here with former Bulldog quarterback and radio host Buck Bellew.
Ken's going to donate $500 to 2 members of the military every Bulldogs football game this season.
If you're a member of the military, go to attorneykennugent.com to enter.
And 2 people are going to win $500 every game.
1 click.
That's it.
Ken Nugent, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN, 1355 Peachtree Street Northeast, Suite 1000, Atlanta, Georgia 30309.
Nothing like Toyotathon, Gary. Seeing people come together and get the best deals of the year.
But what happens after January 2nd when all the best deals are gone?
Live in the now, Gary. Live in the now.
Lease a new 2018 Toyota RAV4 XLE for $219 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2019. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit from Southeast Toyota Finance. 3218 due at signing. No security deposit. With select equipment. $350 disposition fee excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fee. See dealer for details.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
NAPA know-how. You're there every game. Same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the diehard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and NAPA know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with NAPA know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's NAPA know-how.
NAPA know-how.
Nobody likes unwanted guests in their home. And we're not talking Gamecocks, Tigers, or Volunteers. Neil Hondo Williamson here, talking about those critters in our attics. Breda Pest Management gets the rats, mice, squirrels, and bats out of your attic for good. Under the Breda Guarantee, it's covered. All the critter waste, cleanup, covered. If they chew a new way into your home, under the Breda Warranty, it's covered. Breda Pest Management. BREDA Pest.com.
You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the NAPA Tailgate Show.
This moment of commitment is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, always the home team. The University of Georgia is the birthplace of public higher education in America, launching our nation's great tradition of world-class education. What began as a commitment to inspire the next generation grows stronger today through global research and innovation, hands-on experiential learning, and a deep dedication to serving the people of Georgia and beyond. The University of Georgia inspires those who will lead, discover, and serve. It's more than our mission. It's more than our passion. It's our commitment.
Goal to goal, second down. Nauta switches left to right. Fromm in the shotgun, takes the snap. Quick throw over the middle, wide open, touchdown on a slant. Standing up, there's Riley Ridley, reeling in the first score of the game.
Georgia whipping up on Tech, beat down in the Jackets, smoking the Ramblin' Wreck. That was today's Make the Call, presented by Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. Tech coach Paul Johnson decided to hang it up after the pummeling the Dogs inflicted on Georgia Tech last week. Johnson and the Jackets weren't alone, though, with 2 huge losses to the Dogs over the last 2 seasons. Georgia has won 28 of its last 32 games as we head into today's SEC title game against Alabama. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldog Sports Network. All right, thanks for tuning in to the NAPA Tailgate Show. And the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard Reed, joins us. Scott, my often voiced theory after last year's Tech-Georgia game, was that Paul Johnson had 1 year, 2018, to beat Kirby Smart or he'd never win that head-to-head matchup again. Is it too far-fetched to say the Coach Jammies called it quits because he saw that same writing on the wall?
It could be right. I mean, the way Georgia is recruiting now with Kirby Smart and the fact that two of the teams on Tech's schedule every year are two of the best teams in the country for the last few years in Georgia and Clemson. And how competitive can you be against those two teams right now if you can't be on the same playing field from a recruiting standpoint? So maybe there is something to that. I don't have any inside information on it, but the timing was certainly interesting.
It sure was. Bigger fish to fry today for our Bulldogs. Alabama has won 5 of the last 9 national championships. Today we meet for the SEC crown.
They're another football team. I feel like we have a great group of guys in our locker room, so we're going to come out swinging and play football.
There's Bulldogs quarterback Jake Fromm, and Scott Jake, as did several players this week. He was bemused when queried about fear of the Crimson Tide and their mystique. Georgia's playing really well, man.
Yeah, you can't come out in awe of your opponent. You can respect your opponent, and you can understand who your opponent is. But Georgia played toe-to-toe with Alabama last year, and as many people say, should have won the ball game. They didn't in the national championship as it went, but it wasn't domination by mighty Alabama by any stretch of the imagination. So Georgia can't get caught up in the allure and the mystery and the mystique of all the championships of the Alabama program over the years. It's about today and what they've done today. Even the stuff in the regular season doesn't matter today.
Yeah. How are we doing injury-wise, both sides of the ball?
Well, that does matter today. And all I could get out of Kirby this week was and going by the dress roster, all of the guys that we will question as to whether or not they're available to go are on the dress roster. But I do know 2 guys that will be out today. Kendall Baker and David Marshall continue to be out. Everybody, even Monty Rice. I mean, Kirby said Monty Rice was back at practice this week trying to go through some things at practice. Now, how much, I don't know. And if we'll see him today, I don't know. He is on the dress-out roster. Sometimes that makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. Cade Mays is another one, Ben Cleveland, all of those guys on the dress roster. And we've seen Ben on punt unit, on the punt shield, but we haven't really seen him a whole lot from the line of scrimmage, and I don't know if that's going to change today. So I do know these guys are here. Whether or not they play, I can't answer that.
All right, thank you, Scott. Looking forward to your call of today's SEC Championship. That'll be at 4:10. As a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, NAPA Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people. That's NAPA know-how. Kevin Butler swinging a bat in the on-deck circle. He'll discuss Georgia versus Alabama. We battle today at 4:10 on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
NAPA know-how. You're there every game. Same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the diehard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and NAPA know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with NAPA know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's NAPA know-how.
NAPA know-how.
When you look around, you might feel pride is in short supply these days. Everything's being disrupted. But Ford has been around for 115 years, and we know the only constant is change. So, disruption? Yeah, it's what we do every day. You see, we still take pride in what we build and how we build. We even take pride in taking pride. And the world could use more of that right now. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, why do it at all? Build Ford proud.
Georgia, Alabama. This is the SEC Championship.
No one comes to the Southeastern Conference looking for less. This is where you gladly step up, sign up, and raise your hand for a heaping helping of more. More ways to challenge and push yourself, more people from more countries to meet and learn from, more opportunities to impact your community, both locally and globally. Oh, we celebrate championships like no other, but that's nowhere close to the whole story. Yeah, in the SEC, it just means more.
An EasyGo vehicle is more than just a golf car, it's a life car. Made to help you make the most out of every minute. Whether you're dropping the kids off at the practice field or cruising around the neighborhood tailgate party, EasyGo vehicles are made for life and all the fun that comes with it. Test drive an EasyGo vehicle at All Pro Carts of Braselton at 7380 Sprout Springs Road in Flowery Branch.
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Billy's going to try 52-yarder, 52.5 yards. Alabama's got 10 men on the line. We set it down, and the kick is up there, and it is good.
Oh, yeah. Memories of Billy Bennett there, kicking 3 field goals that day in Georgia's defeat of Alabama back in the early 2000s. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show. And speaking of great kickers, we have Kevin Butler here with us, the Hall of Famer. And Kevin, I wanted to ask you about Rodrigo and kickoffs, first of all, as we have Alabama come in. Please tell me that the experiment of the past 2 weeks is over and we're just going to let them blast away.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the experiment was it was a positive experience, even though we had some negative results. But you needed to wake up that kick coverage team. We had been kicking the ball so consistently, the best in the NCAA, I believe, at about 85% of them going out the back of the end zone. So you need to wake those guys up and get them focused again. We tried it. I think it worked to a certain point. We had one gun back against Georgia Tech, but that was the best eye-opener of it all. And I think what it did was it gave us the idea, well, hey, let's have Rodrigo keep kicking the ball out of the back of the end zone. And if he can do that, Hondo, today, that will be a huge, huge benefit to Georgia.
Yeah, well, you and I are old enough to remember this. The youngsters may not know it, but most people will remember this reference, the Maytag repairman.
That's right.
Right. Jake Camarda has become the Maytag repairman, seldom called upon, but ready when he needs to be called.
Yeah, one punt in the last 8 quarters, and he's going to play a big role today because in this game, as you can remember last year, these are 2 teams that are very similar, and field position is up the utmost importance. And when you can maintain good field position without losing negative yards on a punt, kickoff, kick return, whatever it might be, those are valuable yards, and they're going to be hidden yards today. His punting is going to be very important. Alabama has a very dangerous punt return team, and they've proven that. But Georgia's done very well. His challenge today is if we need to punt it left or need to punt it right, we need to be outside those numbers to give our coverage team the best opportunity to do that. And Jake just needs to realize he doesn't need to crush it. His nice, easy kick is about a 50-yarder with a 4.9, and if he can do that, he'll kick at Georgia, and he'll kick at another place in the NFL for many years to come.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. Huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, Kevin, quickly, Alabama, special teams, they've had their problems.
Yeah, they've had their problems. That's probably been the only thing that you could put your finger on of this Alabama team that you would consider a weakness. The field goal kicker has been inconsistent at best, from extra points to field goals. And I think Georgia just needs to put that pressure on, do what they do best, put that pressure up the front, and make this kid perform. I think a point here, a point there will be big points today if you can eliminate those.
All right, excellent, fantastic analysis as always. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Kevin Butler joining us here. It's Georgia and Alabama. Will kick just after 4. Stay with us. More from the NAPA Tailgate Show, including Eric Zayers next, with his desires for the Dogs today against the Tide on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Scana Energy is a proud partner of UGA football, and every Dogs fan deserves to save money. Get fired up about our low natural gas rates and switch to Scana Energy by calling 877-GO-SCANA or visiting scanaenergy.com. Between the hedges and beyond, Scana Energy is a winning play. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com to start saving on your natural gas today.
Recruiting is a vital part of team building. Recruiting also plays an important role in protecting my home from termites with Cook's Pest Control and the Centricon system. Termites eat the bait in the Centricon stations. then eagerly recruit other termites to also feed on the bait, thus eliminating the termite colony. Discover how affordable it is to protect your home. Call Cook's Pest Control.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey Bulldog fans, with Aaron's, having what you want is much easier than you think. Because now you can lease to own all the brands you love in furniture, electronics, and appliances. Yes, all those things you've always dreamed of. At Aaron's, you don't need credit, and you have flexible payment options so you can pay little by little until you own it. Plus, delivery and setup are free, so you can just focus on enjoying. Visit us in-store or at aarons.com and discover for yourself how easy it is to have what you want. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Join us Thursday nights for Bulldogs Live. Starting at 7 here from Bulldogs head coach Kirby Smart.
They want to play the game with passion and energy just like I want to coach the game with passion and energy.
And at 8, it's Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars with Neil Williamson and former Georgia Stars breaking down the Dogs.
What a terrific win by the Dogs.
Bulldogs Live Thursday nights at 7 on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. This is the SEC Championship game.
35-30, he's got a convoy, he's got to go, touchdown!
Now back to more of the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Here's Marshall, forced out of the pocket, and he's dancing back there. We're going to finally sack him back on the other side of the 50. He got away the first time, but still had nowhere to go. We had him surrounded by red jerseys back around the 46-yard line of Tech.
The Bulldogs put the Jackets away and put their coach out to pasture with last week's 45-21 humiliation. Today it's the SEC title game from Atlanta, and Eric Zires back with us with his desires for the game.
Well, Hondo, pretty simple today. Locked down in the red zone. Bama's going to put points on the board, but when they do, make it 3, not 7. Have to have the ability to counterpunch today as well. You know you're going to face adversity. Can't get too far behind in this football game. You want to play from ahead, but you got to keep the Alabama Crimson Tide within striking distance and then go all out all day. Exotic looks on the defensive side. Be creative with your schemes. Create pressure. Get in the backfield, offensive backfield of Bama, and then get to Tua as much as you can. If you create some confusion, you get him a hair second slower. Now all of a sudden the game slows down. It's in your favor. Who knows what happens at that point?
All right, beautiful, Z. Thank you. Coach Kirby Smart provides an exclusive scouting report of today's matchup between two top 4 teams. CKS within the next 20 minutes here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Head coaches have to make many big decisions during a championship game. One decision that isn't too hard to make is to always wear your seatbelt. More than half of the people who die in traffic crashes in Georgia each year are not buckled up. Many of those killed would have likely survived had they been wearing a seatbelt. Whether you're listening to the game in your car or headed home from the stadium, reach down now and buckle that belt. And make sure everyone else riding in your car is wearing theirs. This is Harris Blackwood of the Governor's Office of Highway Safety saying, Happy holidays and go Dogs.
Life can be unpredictable. That's why having health insurance is so important to me.
When I'm covered, I can worry less and focus on staying healthy, like seeing my doctor for a yearly checkup.
And better from Peach State Health Plan is affordable health care coverage.
With a My Health Pays Rewards program, so I can take charge of my health and save money too.
I choose the plan that's right for me. Visit betterisga.com today.
This is a solicitation for insurance.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Nick's driving through a nasty storm and counting down the minutes until he gets to his in-laws.
We're here.
But one thing he didn't count on, being there an extra day because he didn't test his car battery.
Oh no.
Think ahead. Think advance. At any time, 1 in 4 batteries is about to fail. Get free battery testing plus batteries that deliver more performance and starting power in extreme conditions starting at $79.99 with free installation. Only at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Holiday Inn Express wants to let you in on a little secret. There's still time to get at least 20% off at holidayinexpress.com during our annual sale. We'll even throw in free breakfast. Just kidding. Breakfast is always included in your stay at Holiday Inn Express. Book now and save at holidayinexpress.com. Terms apply.
This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30. He's got a convoy. He's got to go. Touchdown.
Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
He'll fire to the front corner of the end zone. It's caught on the jump by Holloman. Did he get his feet in? Yes, touchdown. Back left corner, J.J. Holloman.
It's a big week, but we've had 12 weeks like this before. It comes down to the process, preparing. Just like we have every other game. You know, it is what it is. We have the process. We have it down. Let's continue to do that and see if it works out.
Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm bringing his hard hat and lunch pail with him to the Benz today. And while we say that metaphorically, and as we welcome Scott, Lauren, and Eric back to the microphones, I do remember reading Steve Hummer at DogNation.com writing last year that Jake, even as he dresses, I'm quoting here, even as he dresses up in a suit and tie every pregame, Fromm wears his father's old work shoes, the ones his dad wore when it was time to pour cement. And Jake's dad, Emerson Fromm, told Hummer, in his mind, he's saying, I'm going to work. It's pretty cool, huh?
I love that.
I love that, too. All right, let's check that Comcast business scoreboard for you quickly. Oklahoma leads Texas. Beginning of the third quarter, it's 20-14 Sooners. Drake is leading 23rd ranked Iowa State 24-20 there in the third quarter. And earlier today I said that Utah and Washington would play tonight for the Pac-12 championship game. That was last night, and Washington won 10-3. I was rushing through the scores minutes ago. Thanks to Zach Jewell, our producer, for setting me straight on that one. Later on today, Mountain West Championship game. You get 25th ranked Fresno State playing at Boise State. In Charlotte, it's the ACC title game at 8 o'clock. Number 2 Clemson versus Pittsburgh. And the Big Ten Championship game in Indianapolis is also tonight at 8. 6th ranked Ohio State against number 21 Northwestern. Speaking of games from around the nation, we can look at last week's predictions, but why should we? Because Scott Howard is running us out of the gym once again. He was 3-1 last week.
He's doing way too much studying. Way too much studying.
I've got friends.
Yeah, you've got friends.
Got friends letting me in on all the skinny.
Very good. All right, on to this week's games.
Yeah.
Come on, Lauren. We're doing predictions, Lauren. Oh, my goodness. The governor-elect is here. The commissioner of the conference is here. The governor-elect is here.
Oh, my gosh.
Old friend Al is here. Everybody's here. And I'm trying to round up our crew here. So we've got a great crew down here on the sideline with us for today's game. Number 8, UCF is hosting Memphis today. All right, Eric, you start us out.
Quarterback for UCF is out. Doesn't matter. UCF wins again, and they're going to insert themselves right into the talk, or they think they are, and probably anoint themselves national championship again.
All right, Scott.
Well, without all the blather, I'll go with UCF.
All right, Lauren.
I don't know. Anybody wearing red? I have no interest in anybody who doesn't wear red. So flip a coin. UCF is at home. They can beat them if 6 of their starters quit.
Okay, so you're going with...
He likes Central Florida.
Yeah, Central Florida. Okay,
I don't really like them. I'm just going to pick them.
I'll take Memphis. How's that? I'll take the Tigers. Number 25, Fresno State, is at Boise State. Boise hasn't lost at home to Fresno State since 1984, including a come-from-behind win in November. That streak ends tonight on the blue turf. They don't have red turf, so I'm not cheering for them. The Bulldogs win out. Scott?
Boise State all the way.
Well, I really like your reasoning. I'm still going to go Boise State, though.
I'm a Boise picker.
Oh, I'm out here on my own for 2. Okay, Stanford at Cal. Lauren, you're up first.
Well, I keep picking Cal because the coach's mother went to Georgia, so I'll stick with him.
Okay.
Has that worked for you? Because I need some help on this one.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Fighting Trees just because I wanted to say that one more time this season.
All right, give me the Golden Bears.
Yeah, I'll take Cal on that one.
All right, very good. And then the NFL, Panthers at the Bucks. Who do you like? I'll go first on this one. Carolina.
Boy, Carolina's been on a little bit of a skid lately, but I think that ends as well. Bucks just aren't what they used to be. I like Carolina.
Well, too many good Bulldogs with the Panthers. I'm going with them.
Jay Black tells me the Buccaneers are giving away tickets to that ball game. I'll take the Panthers.
Okay, you'll take the Panthers too. Very good. And I'm picking Washington in last night's Pac-12 championship game.
You got a score for us?
Yeah, 10-3.
That sounds good.
Okay, you like that?
I like that pick.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it very much. And our scoreboard that we gave just a couple of minutes ago brought to you by Comcast Business. And we'd like to thank those great friends at Comcast for always sponsoring our scoreboards. Comcast Business, beyond fast. All right, as a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, Napa Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. Georgia and Alabama for all the SEC marbles. We'll have Kirby Smart on shortly, but I think look at this. We've got a former governor. We've got the governor-elect. We've got the commissioner of the SEC. Lauren, you pick who you want to have come on next, and we'll bring them on after these words on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
I'm attorney Ken Nugent, and I'm here with former Bulldog quarterback and radio host Buck Bellew.
Ken's going to donate $500 to 2 members of the military every Bulldogs football game this season.
If you're a member of the military, go to attorneykennugent.com to enter.
And 2 people are going to win $500 every game.
1 click.
That's it.
Ken Nugent, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN, 1355 Peachtree Street Northeast, Suite 1000, Atlanta, Georgia 30309.
Dog fans, the holidays are here, and that means it's time to spend money. But have you saved any this holiday season? What if I told you Associated Credit Union can help you pay for the holidays through an auto loan? That's right. When you finance or refinance your vehicle with ACU, you'll not only get the lowest rate possible, but you can most likely skip your first 2 payments. That means no car payments until 2019. Go to acuonline.org to apply for your auto loan today. Associated Credit Union. Better than a bank, and anyone in Georgia can join.
Bulldogs, Crimson Tide. This is the SEC Championship.
When the deadline clock is ticking, an unreliable network can cost your business money. That's why you need Comcast Business. Our gig speed network is fast, and we go beyond fast with the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup, which means that even if something like construction accidentally knocks out the power, you can still upload that big presentation, email important clients, invoice customers, and not take a hit to your company's bottom line. For a limited time, switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 12/31/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours and requires Comcast Business Internet.
Setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
And we rush a man up the middle. We block the ball. There's a block punt. We pick it up. Touchdown! Berry blocked it. Jared Berry, a receiver. Thomas Davis picked it up and scored. Berry, a big young receiver, came up the middle. We had a guy coming off the corner. It was a disguise blitz. And Berry just ran up the middle, took it right on his stomach, right off the guy's foot. And Thomas Davis chased it to the 5 and picked it up and scored, and it's 15-3.
Thank you. Very happy to have an opportunity to have Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, on with us. Another exciting year in SEC football. We're still prominent nationally. I guess I can remember a song about it keeps going on and on so much. How much longer is this going to go on? naturally, those of us in the SEC hope forever. What gives us the staying power we have?
It's really been 15 remarkable years since the national championship game in 2003 that we've had this high-level sustained success, and now you see 8 of the top 25 teams. This time last year, a lot of conversation about all the coaching changes, but I think that's a commitment to the expectations that exist on every one of our campuses to play high-level college football. So I don't see any ebb to this high-level performance in the near future, if ever.
Well, it's really exciting what the SEC has put together here in Atlanta. It's almost like having something that's perfect. You can't tweak it and make it any better. But do you have something in mind that would make it better?
Well, the rain needs to go away today, right? We had some plans today, so College Game Day was here, and the Lightning moved them off. We had a fanfare that was going to be between here, the plaza between here and Phillips, or the old Phillips Arena that's been renamed. With the facility itself outside the Home Depot backyard gives some opportunities to activate. So we actually do think about what's next. What can we continue to build around the game? Kind of good it wasn't this year because it rained us out.
Well, it's before your time, but the game was played in Birmingham. Outdoors has since come to the Georgia Dome and now the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I often think about Roy Kramer and his contribution to what we are today and to the college football playoffs. He was a visionary. I don't think he's quite gotten the credit he deserves. What is your take?
He deserves an incredible amount of credit. That is exactly right. Each of us who followed stand on our predecessors' shoulders, and Roy has broad shoulders. I had dinner with him last night. He was telling stories about, we have a banner on the headquarters hotel. He said that's probably cost more than the entire budget for the first game. He and Mark Womack were telling stories about buying straw because it had rained before the first game, and the two of them, the commissioner and the executive associate, spreading straw to keep the mud down around the hospitality tent. So those are the realities that you miss in a high-tech place like this, but that history is so critically important to this conference, and that's what makes it special in part.
And, of course, the decision that CBS made was historic. How do you see the value of that long-term contract that we've enjoyed with the CBS network?
It's been a 20-plus year partnership, and I think we're in the 19th or 20th year of the championship game being part of the CBS. The ability to have every Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, the SEC on CBS has enormous value. We'll have an opportunity in a few years to come to perhaps catch up on what we view our value to be, but we had a great dinner celebrating another wonderful season with CBS and their work in presenting not just our football games, but our stadiums, our campuses to America and beyond.
Well, thanks for being with us. Thanks for giving us that report, and thanks for all you do to make the SEC the leading football conference in the country. Our friend Greg Sankey, we go back over to Neil Williamson.
Thank you, Lauren. Greg, great to see you. Thank you so much for taking time. How about that? Isn't that a funny story about laying the straw out? I love that. Bulldogs fans, tackle your holiday shopping list at the UGA Bookstore. The UGA Bookstore has the best in Georgia gear for everyone, including great brands like Nike, Peter Millar, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA Bookstore is located next to Sanford Stadium right up until Christmas, or online 24/7 at UGAbookstore.com. The UGA Bookstore, it's where the dogs shop. The SEC title is on the line. It's Georgia and Alabama. Did you know that the Dogs are second only to the Crimson Tide for number of league championships? UGA gunning for number 14 in our SEC title championship trophy today. Don't go away. We'll have Lauren with another special guest. The governor-elect is here with us. He's Brian Kemp is next on the Bulldog Sports Network.
We get it. You don't want a sales pitch. Just the insurance you need at a price you can afford. You also want to know you'll be taken care of when you file a claim. With a 95% customer claim satisfaction rating, you can rest easy knowing Alpha Insurance will be there when you need us.
All for a better life.
Learn more about our auto, home, and life insurance options today.
All for a better life.
At alphainsurance.com.
Coach Kirby Smart here. Let's talk about the official healthcare provider of the Georgia Bulldogs, Piedmont Healthcare. Piedmont makes sure that our dogs are playing their best, and they're also there for the times they're not. But you don't have to be a college athlete to get bumps and bruises. With urgent care, same-day appointments, virtual visits from your smartphone or desktop, and Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, they've got the care you need when you need it. Booking an appointment is only a click away. So for game day and every day, get better at piedmont.org/UGA.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
If you're looking for smart ways to save money, just stop by your neighborhood Kroger. Right now, it's time for the Buy 5, Save 5 event. Just choose from a great selection of participating items. And when you buy any 5, you'll save $5 instantly at checkout. Choose from select items like Kroger brand cheese, all laundry detergent, General Mills or Kellogg's cereal, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com or use the app for more info. The Buy 5, Save 5 event is on now. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Hurry to Kroger right now for 3 days of digital deals. Through Saturday, you can take home essentials like select varieties of Tostitos tortilla chips or Ruffles potato chips on sale for $1.49. And select packages of Johnsonville sausages on sale for $2.49. Visit Kroger.com or the app and download your digital coupons today. You can use them up to 5 times in one transaction. But hurry, the sale ends Saturday. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Here's Cade Foster for a long field goal just inside the 40. We block it. It's bouncing. We pick it up. Ogletree. Ogletree at the 30, the 20. He's going to take it to the house. Touchdown. Holy smokes. The Georgia bench erupts.
What an incredible game. The SEC Championship back in 2012. So close right down to the last play. Still, Georgia accepted defeat and didn't sue or ask for a recount or anything after that game. So I love to see how we did that. Oh, we're back with the NAPA Tailgate Show. Here's our Lauren Smith. Lauren?
Thank you, Neil. It's such an honor, such an exciting thing to be with the governor-elect, Brian Kemp. Your pedigree, your Georgia pedigree, is impeccable. You went to Georgia. You played for Billy Henderson. You played before that with Kelly, Coburn Kelly at the Athens Y. Your late father-in-law, Bob Argo, was about as big a Bulldog as there's ever been. You're all dog, all red and black, and we're happy you're going to be leading the state. How excited are you and your family? You married a beauty queen, Marty Argo, Bob's pretty daughter.
Well, don't forget, Lauren, Marty was a cheerleader, too, so she's a Bulldog through and through. We're just so excited to be representing such a great state, and great to be here today to pull the Dogs on. I'm excited. They've had a great year. Coach Smart's got things going in the right direction. We just need to hunker down and chop some wood. And, I grew up with Coach Dooley and his family. His son Daniel and I are very good friends. I've known the Dooleys for over 40 years and grew up in that environment with him and Coach Billy Henderson and a lot of other good people that were great influences on my life. And I got a great education at the University of Georgia, and I'm proud to be representing our state.
Well, we're proud that you have that honor, too. All of Athens is especially proud. Do you have a favorite memory of something that might have taken place between the hedges when you were a kid growing up?
I've got so many memories from Coach Henderson yelling at us on the bus before a high school football game because we were cheering for, Ballou to Lindsey Scott in Florida. We heard that on the radio on the bus, and Coach Henderson got mad at us for not focusing on our own game that was later that night. And we were on the field in Knoxville after Herschel Walker ran over Bill Bates. We were on the field after winning the national championship, and those were just some great days for the program at University of Georgia. And the school is just doing unbelievably, not only in sports but in academics as well, and that's what is continuing to help drive our state along with the rest of our higher education system here. And I'm going to be a governor that's going to work hard to build off of that and keep moving it in the right direction.
Well, we really have some prominent professors on campus. It's been fun for me to get to know a lot of them, and it makes mine and your degree much more valuable. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And the opportunities that are out there for our graduates at the University of Georgia and those that will be coming out over the next couple of years is incredible. And we've got to continue to meet the needs of our employers in the state and focus on new things from a technology perspective, whether it's agriculture, technology, cyber. I know the engineering school. I was in the ag engineering program, which is now the engineering program, is growing leaps and bounds, along with a lot of our other science programs as well. And just really the creative side of the university is doing very well. And of course, the Terry College of Business, the law school, I could go on and on.
Well, you know the campus well, and it's interesting that accompanying you tonight is the former governor, Sonny Perdue, a good friend of yours, and I see him smiling over there. Of course, he's always smiling, and I guess maybe there might be something that he'd frown about, but I've never seen him in that mood.
Well, we've had great leadership under great governors in our state. When you think about people like Zell Miller, Sonny Perdue, certainly Governor Deal, his run has been incredible, and I want to work hard every day to build off of that. But I'm just so proud to have Sonny Perdue as our Secretary of Agriculture, especially with the storm damage that we're facing from Hurricane Michael. I know I've talked to President Trump about that, and it has his attention, and I know it has Secretary Perdue's attention. And I'm going to be a governor that's going to be working with both of them to help our farmers, our agribusiness people, and our families in South and Southwest Georgia that were literally devastated by that storm.
Well, you have something in common with Sonny Perdue. You often wear cowboy boots, and here you are in your red blazer, your red windbreaker, red shirt, and cowboy boots. So he's going to be a hardworking governor. I predict, Neil, great to have Governor-elect Brian Kemp, an Athens boy, who has so many friends in the athletic department, association, rather, in Athens.
Great to have you on with us, Governor-elect. Thank you very much, and congratulations again. Thank you for taking the time to come over. Thank you, Lauren. And Eric Zier's waiting in the wings. We'll talk to him about Georgia defense, how we're going to stop things today with Tua on the other side. But first, we'll have Coach Kirby Smart right around the corner, an exclusive scouting report of the Crimson Tide. That's 2 minutes from Mark on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
In football, it's important to call the right play. In life, it can be even more important to make the right call, especially regarding termite protection. To protect my home, I call the unbeatable combination for termite protection, Cook's Pest Control and the Centricon system. Discover how affordable it is to protect your home with the Centricon system. Make the right call. Cook's Pest Control.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
I'm attorney Ken Nugent, and I'm here with former Bulldog quarterback and radio host Buck Bellew.
Ken's going to donate $500 to 2 members of the military every Bulldogs football game this season.
If you're a member of the military, go to attorneykennugent.com to enter.
And 2 people are going to win $500 every game.
1 click.
That's it.
Ken Nugent, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN, 1355 Peachtree Street Northeast, Suite 1000, Atlanta, Georgia 30309.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
The Walton Gas Champions for Charity game is on. That means every time the Dogs win a regular season game, Walton Gas will donate $1,000 to these local charities: Camp Twin Lakes, the Salvation Army, the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And for every bowl game the Dogs win, Walton Gas will donate $5,000. Everyone wins with Walton Gas. Always low rates, always great service. Put your game face on and be a champion for charity. Vote for the charity of your choice at waltongas.com/UGA.
NAPA know-how. You're there every game, same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the diehard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and NAPA know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with NAPA know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's NAPA know-how.
NAPA know-how.
This is the SEC Championship game.
Kick is blocked. The kick is blocked. It's no good. It's no good.
Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Brom under center. We'll hand it to DeAndre. Running in behind a guard. The linebackers, a tight end's block off the right side. And Swift's going to break the plane and get in the end zone for the touchdown. Welcome back to the Bulldogs Tailgate Show. It's time to take a look at today's opponent, the Alabama Crimson Tide, here in the SEC Championship. We're with Georgia head coach Kirby Smart. It's kind of like a playoff game, I guess, today, Coach. Number 1 and number 4 in the latest football playoff poll. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, I certainly have a lot of respect for their program and their team. I think they do a tremendous job, and we know we're up against a really talented team, but we're excited about our opportunity. We've earned that opportunity, and we're pumped to be in it. And we look at it as a playoff game, certainly, and look forward to playing these guys and seeing where we stand.
Let's kind of peel back some of the layers of this Alabama team, as you've certainly looked at them a lot, I'm sure, over the last month or so as you prepare for this ball game. Just your general thoughts on how they look. We'll start on the defense. What are your thoughts on their defensive play?
Well, they're similar where they have gotten better throughout the year. You know, early in the year they were playing a ton of new guys. They had a lot of guys that were starting for the first time. Secondary, I think they lost every player in the secondary last year. So when you look across the board, they've got a lot of talented players. Deontay Thompson, Xavier McKinney, both kids that we recruited here. Savion and Patrick Surtain, extremely talented players. Their outside linebackers have been injured, but they're really good players. Anthony Jennings is back off injury from last year. Christian Miller's another one that was hurt last year. I mean, these are guys that have played a lot of football snaps and know both those kids well, and they're really big up front.
And that's kind of where they start. You've been telling us this week that this is how they kind of build their team from the line of scrimmage out.
Yeah, they do. They get a lot of size, and they try to put mountains up there in front of you. Don't let you move them. I mean, looking back at last year's tape, both Bugs and Raekwon played really good against us. They're massive. Quentin played. I mean, they got talent across the board. There's no shortage of that. We'll be up for it.
Your offensive line has played very well this season, despite a lot of movement on the line. You've had some injuries you've had to deal with, but they seem to answer the challenge very well. How about today's challenge, our offensive line and Alabama's line of scrimmage on defense?
Well, I think we'll find out a lot about ourselves. I mean, you look at it, and not many people move them, and we've been able to move most of the people we play. So it's strength on strength, and we got to do a good job. We got to take advantage of when we take shots. We got to hit those shots. And we got to be able to run the ball and stay out of third and longs.
Offensively, Alabama and Georgia are 1 and 2 in scoring offense in the Southeastern Conference. Your thoughts on how their offense has performed?
Well, they're explosive offensively. When you turn the tape on, you catches your eye right away. There's not many possessions that they don't score. So they go up and down the field on people. They're very aggressive, and they're explosive.
How do you cause disruption on defense for their offense and make Tua uncomfortable?
Well, you have to get to him. You got to pressure him, but that's easier said than done. If there was an easier way to do it, then these teams that gave up 60 would have probably figured it out. So it's a challenge when you look at what they've done. There's no easy way. There's no script. We got to play our best, and we got to execute.
Do you have expectations going in as in your mind what the score might be, what the outcome might be?
No, I do not. I mean, I think you learned a long time ago that you can't predict games like this. They can go in either way. Either team can come out hot, cold, turnovers, special teams. So many things affect the game that you got to be able to make adjustments and adapt within it and respond to what happens.
Would you say Georgia has an edge in the kicking game?
I think most people would assume that, but, they've got 2 elite returners. Their kickoff returners, one of the best in the country, and their punt returner is too. They've been really good. I think if you just talk about the kicking game, we might have an advantage when I say the kickers, but when it comes to overall coverage units and return units, they're very strong.
Coach, thanks for your time. Much good luck, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Kirby Smart. Our look at the Alabama Crimson Tide today. Georgia and Alabama coming up in the SEC Championship here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Hondo, back to you for more of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show.
All right, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Coach. Each week we like to check where the Dogs rank, presented by Northside Hospital. And thanks to Ohio State's win over Michigan last Saturday, our Bulldogs have crept up to number 4 spot in the CFP poll. Win today against top-ranked Alabama, and we're headed to the playoffs. The cracking of pads and helmets cranks up just after 4 o'clock. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Of course you know that if your car battery's dead, you can reach for a AAA membership card to come to your rescue. But did you know that a AAA card has you covered with more than roadside assistance? Like with a cruise or vacation package, a savings account, discounts at thousands of locations, plus auto, home, and life insurance, free identity theft protection, and more. So get a AAA card and expect something more. To learn more, go to AAA.com or visit your local AAA office.
I'm John Addison, a lifetime Bulldog fan, Georgia graduate, and the chairman of distribution for Primerica, the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. Primerica is a Main Street company for Main Street families. We help people from all walks of life achieve their goals and dreams by offering common sense financial solutions to today's challenges. As a Georgia-based company, Primerica is proud to continue to sponsor Georgia football. Go Dogs!
Dogs. Crimson Tide. This is the SEC Championship game.
Hi, welcome to the Subway Simple 6 radio ad. How would you like to hear it?
From a game show host?
All right, let's play.
Thanks, Johnny. Tonight's contestants are playing for the fantastic Simple 6 menu. Their choice of 6 different 6-inch subs, chips, and a 21-ounce drink. With subs like the Spicy Italian and Black Forest Ham, this is one $6 deal that can't be beat. Subway, make it what you want.
At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
Kubota's L2501 DT packs powerful performance into one easy-to-operate compact tractor. Designed for all-day operator comfort and easy use of implements, the L2501 DT makes mowing, digging, hauling, and lifting quick and simple. Now get payments as low as $135 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at GoKubota.com.
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
He ran over him. There he goes. Versus
Joe will try to kick one 100,000 miles.
Dogs on top. We were gone. I gave up. You did too. Look at the sugar falling out of the sky.
Georgia football history through the voice of a legend. Here's another listen back to Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, presented by Alpha Insurance, proudly serving Georgia for over 30 years.
Well, guess what? Ball is on the 23. 4th down. 109 seconds now, less than that. Field goal. Going to be held on the 30. Easy to try. Bohannon. The kick. Yeah! Casey hit it with his left shoe. Now look at the clock. It's 17-16, and Alabama's got 3 timeouts. Dogs lead for the first time. We've been behind for 17 hours. Now we got a 1-point lead, but Alabama's got 3 timeouts. Everything now is extremely large. Georgia suddenly has climbed on top. The team on the bench asked the crowd to get in it again. Here's Alabama trying to save themselves. 59 seconds to go. They're on their own 49 shotgun. Hollingsworth going to take it. Hollingsworth throws out of bounds. Incomplete. The man was diving at it on our 39. Incomplete. Alabama up to the line. Is this the last time of the day for them? 43 seconds. Alabama on their own 44. Where does he throw? A 3 left and 1 right. He's back to throw. He's throwing long to the left. Carswell intercepted on the 33. Carswell fell down on the 40. Carswell intercepted. Carswell saved our Franny. And the Dogs will have the ball on the 40. The team is mobbing Carswell.
It was a fun win over the Crimson Tide between the hedges in 1990. As a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, NAPA Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's NAPA know-how. And we are so thankful to NAPA for sponsoring our tailgate show again this year. Tonight marks the 69th meeting twixt the Tide and the Bulldogs. Alabama has come out on top 39 times. Georgia has posted 25 victories. There have been 4 ties. And as we know from last year's national championship overtime classic, there will be no tie tonight. We'll have more from the 32-yard line at the Benz as we get amped up for today's SEC title game. Eric Zier standing by. We'll talk Tua. We'll talk Georgia defense. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Head coaches have to make many big decisions during a championship game. One decision that isn't too hard to make is to always wear your seatbelt. More than half of the people who die in traffic crashes in Georgia each year are not buckled up. Many of those killed would have likely survived had they been wearing a seatbelt. Whether you're listening to the game in your car or headed home from the stadium, reach down now and buckle that belt. And make sure everyone else riding in your car is wearing theirs. This is Harris Blackwood of the Governor's Office of Highway Safety saying, Happy holidays and go Dogs.
Get ready for kickoff at the UGA Bookstore, featuring the best Bulldog gifts and apparel. Shop all the great brands at the UGA Bookstore like Nike, Peter Millar, 47 brand, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. If it's red and black and you want it, they've got it at the UGA Bookstore in the heart of campus next to the Tate Student Center. Shop online 24/7 at UGABookstore.com. The UGA Bookstore, it's where dogs shop.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Have you ever felt like the big banks didn't have time for your business? At Piedmont Bank, you're exactly who we want to do business with. We're founded by a group of local business professionals who believe our community needs a bank committed to serving the needs of businesses and residents of our community. We believe banking is very much a people business, and we look forward to serving you. Experience the difference at Piedmont Bank. Visit us today at piedmont.bank.
The holidays. At BMW, we want to remind you of some excuses to enjoy the ride home a little longer. If you're in the all-new BMW X5 with the upgraded navigation within iDrive 7.0, consider the detour excuse.
Hey Dad, ran into construction. Gotta take a detour.
Make the most of the road home. Hurry in to the BMW Road Home sales event to receive exceptional offers on select models now through January 2nd. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com for great offers. Go Dogs!
This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30, he's got a convoy, he's got to go, touchdown!
Now back to more of the NAPA Tailgate Show.
4th and 6 for the Yellow Jackets from their own 48. Marshall going to drop back, roll to the right, now back the other way, and we'll stop him back at the 42. Big Jordan Davis, the freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina, has a little Marshall for lunch back near the 40.
An outstanding defensive play by freshman Jordan Davis as the Dogs dismissed Paul Johnson and the Yellow Jackets last Saturday. Today it's the SEC Championship. We're joined once again by Eric Zier. Before we do, hey, did Texas get that extra point, Tone? They missed the extra point. Wow, thank you. 27 all Comcast Business scoreboard, Oklahoma and Texas. How about that? With Eric Zier, it's hard to stop an opponent, and it's presented by Train. It's hard to stop a train. Today, the toughest test of the season. Top-ranked Alabama is the first team to open a campaign with 12 victories of 20 points or more.
They've got very few deficiencies in any area. Talented quarterback, explosive offense, and first thing you notice when they turn the tape on is how fast and how much they score.
The Bama offense is led by Heisman Trophy favorite Tua Tagovailoa. Look at what he did last week versus Auburn in the Iron Bowl matchup. Alabama led 17-14 at the half. Then Tua dominated the third quarter, completing 9 of 10 passes, 176 yards, 4 TDs. Alabama's second half scoring drives took 5 plays, the next one 4, the next one 3, then 4, finally 1. That's 5 touchdowns on 17 plays.
Their receiving core is extremely talented, and they all seem young then. So now they're all very experienced, very talented, and he's got them at his disposal to make good decisions and put the ball in the right people's hands. And he does a tremendous job of his decision-making and touch and accuracy is really just off the charts.
That's Coach Kirby Smart talking about Tua and all the weapons that he has surrounding him. No doubt they've been great, but I said it earlier in the broadcast, I'll say it again now. No team is invincible. No team is void from being exposed and getting confused and getting frustrated. And the Dogs today, if we want to have success, we've got to be the ones that take the fight to this Alabama offense. We've got to create confusion through our schemes, through our aggressiveness. We've got to be willing to get beat by 80 points today, meaning lay it all on the line, get manned up on the outside, and bring pressure after pressure after pressure, get into the backfield, and make Alabama speed up their thought process a little bit and therefore slow down a half a second. If they do, we have a shot.
Well, with apologies to Rodgers and Hammerstein, and how do you solve a problem like Tagovailoa? Do we blitz more, and what does that leave exposed?
To do that, you got to take a lot of chances, and there's some good players back there behind those chances you're taking. And they also have the ability to expose you when you're not bounced up on the run.
You don't try to do too much, don't try to go out the way. Everyone just does their job. You get a good trap around the quarterback, make sure he doesn't get out the pocket in any escape lanes, and then make sure your coverage is just tight, man. You really just got to have A1 coverage and make sure rush and coverage are working together.
That's me, huh? Thank you very much. That's Jonathan Ledbetter, preceded by Coach Smart. Eric, Mississippi State, you just talked about it. Putting some pressure on. They enjoyed a modicum of success by repeatedly unleashing the cavalry at Tua. But we rank in the bottom 20% in the country in sacks. Are we built for that type of attack?
Listen, we are if we bring pressure and decide to get man-to-man and get on an island. And I think that's what we have to go do to win the football game today. If we want to go rush 4 against this Alabama offensive line, I think it's going to be a long afternoon. We've got to be able to shut the running game of Alabama down. How do you go do that? Get additional guys in the box, take away their advantage. And then how do you create that confusion? And then how do you get pressure? We're going to have to get pressure by bringing additional bodies, linebacker pressure, blitzes from the secondary, as many looks as we can give Tua in this offense. As good as they are, they haven't seen every look in the book. They can still get confused. The more we can do that and dial up different looks that they haven't seen, the more chance I think we have at being successful today.
All right, thank you, Z. Great job as usual. That was today's defensive preview presented by Train. It's hard to stop a train. Eric Zier returns to game plan for today's SEC Championship within the next 10 minutes. Plus, we'll hear from Coach Kirby Smart with an exclusive inside skinny on today's matchup between number 1 and number 4. CKS is less than 30 away on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Inside the Train testing facility, our heating and cooling products go through endless torture tests. We drop them, slam them against a wall, shake them, and then expect them to run without an extra decibel in our anechoic sound chamber. We test so it runs.
From now until December 31st, you can own the most reliable heating and cooling system with no interest if paid in full within 15 months. Visit traininfo.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Valid on qualifying Train equipment, subject to credit approval.
It's hard to stop a train.
There's a common misconception that all chicken sandwiches from the South are the same. Cue Zaxby's new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other, a perfected classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Both served with crinkle fries in a 22-ounce drink. The Southern chicken sandwich will never be the same. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
When the deadline clock is ticking, an unreliable network can cost your business money. That's why you need Comcast Business. Our gig speed network is fast, and we go beyond fast with the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup, which means that even if something like construction accidentally knocks out the power, you can still upload that big presentation, email important clients, invoice customers, and not take a hit to your company's bottom line. For a limited time, switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 12/31/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours and requires Comcast Business Internet.
This is the SEC Championship game.
35-30. He's got a convoy. He's got to go. Touchdown.
Now back to more of the NAPA Tailgate Show.
This moment of commitment is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, always the home team. The University of Georgia is the birthplace of public higher education in America, launching our nation's great tradition of world-class education. What began as a commitment to inspire the next generation grows stronger today through global research and innovation, hands-on experiential learning, and a deep dedication to serving the people of Georgia and beyond. The University of Georgia inspires those who will lead, discover, and serve. It's more than our mission. It's more than our passion. It's our commitment.
Back to pass is Croyle. Croyle throws a bullet. We intercepted on a 38-yard line. Some big linebacker, I think, intercepted on a 38. Was that Thomas Davis, a strong safety? Thomas Davis, redshirt freshman, intercepted a ball throwing short and hard and low. Grabbed it and went 8-9 steps. We've got the ball, and it looks like right now we have won a giant road game. 27-25.
Look to your right. Look at that Georgia coaches booth. They are absolutely ecstatic.
Got behind in the fourth quarter as they shoved us all over the field, lost the 12-point lead, and came back. That blocked field goal looks pretty good right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's the play that ended Alabama's last gasp attempt in 2002. Georgia's man-enough win over the Crimson Tide, the first UGA victory ever in Tuscaloosa. Today, the border rivals square off for the 69th time. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show. We have Eric Zier, Lauren Smith, and your old buddy Hondo down here on the sideline. We have Zach Jewell, Tony Schiavone, Chris Schiavone producing for us today. And the voice of the dog, Scott Howard, joins us again. Scott's up in the press box. Scott, I want to look at that interconference schedule in the SEC. Georgia and Tennessee knocked off Auburn from the SEC West this year. Florida defeated LSU. Florida also beat Mississippi State, as did Kentucky. Are our Bulldogs in the SEC East being unfairly evaluated?
Well, there's been a Western bias in this conference for so long that, it's possible that that's still continuing. Someone was telling me, and I didn't see the actual story, but somebody did some research on all the different divisions in all the different conferences in college football this year, and based on, I guess, some form of metrics, and it was determined that the SEC East this year was the most difficult or the strongest division in all of college football, which should tell you something, especially since Georgia has rolled through this division undefeated in the last 2 years. So I think the East is starting to come back a little bit, and hopefully getting the respect it deserves, because there's some good teams on this side of the ledger in this conference.
Well, if Alabama has exposed its own Achilles heel at all, it's been via their first half woes versus the Citadel and Auburn the past 2 weeks. The Citadel battled the Crimson Tide to a 10-10 tie at the break. Then the Tigers trailed in the Iron Bowl 17-14 at the half. So, is it good news or bad news, considering Bama came out and bombed both of those opponents after halftime?
Well, I guess it's a situation where you can't let up on these guys. Even if Alabama sleepwalks through the first half, that's an indication that they're not going to for the next two quarters. So it's going to be 60 minutes, 4 quarters, that old cliche to be able to beat this team, and you just can't let up. So Alabama's got too many weapons. They've got too much strength for that, and Georgia knows that. And Georgia's been the same way. I mean, we've seen the Bulldogs dominate a lot of first halves this season, and they come out guns blazing in the third quarter, and when they feel the game is in hand, then they pull back a little bit in the fourth quarter. They get some other players in the ball game. They let some other guys get some snaps. So I don't know if we're going to see that today. I think it's going to go right down to the fourth quarter, and we're going to have a slugfest down to the final minutes.
Outstanding. All right, thank you, Scott. Appreciate the time. Eric Zier's up next with today's game plan for the Bulldogs as we seek to topple top-ranked Alabama in the SEC Championship. And Coach Kirby Smart joins Scott for an exclusive interview in the next 20 minutes on the NAPA Tailgate Show. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Everybody knows that peanuts are the state crop of Georgia. But did you know that Georgia farmers contribute nearly $75 billion to the state's economy each year? That's not peanuts. Those billions are why Georgia Farm Bureau cultivates farmers by promoting agriculture and offering access to benefits that save families money, like home and auto insurance. You can join online for just a few bucks a year. Peanuts.
Strong, dependable, ready for anything. The University of Georgia Bulldogs know what it takes to make a great team, and your local Massey Ferguson dealers are proud to support them. Take on the season with Massey Ferguson compact and utility tractors. They mow, load, handle hay, and more, all while delivering more of the power and versatility you've come to expect from Massey Ferguson. Experience the compact and utility tractors that will take you through the season strong. Visit GeorgiaMasseyDealers.com to learn more.
Georgia, Alabama. This is the SEC Championship.
In football, a triple threat is a player who can do it all. For barbecue, Dreamland is a triple threat. You can dine in, carry out, or let us cater your next event. For the ultimate tailgating experience, nothing beats a rack of legendary Dreamland ribs with your favorite sides. If you got a taste for winning, treat your team to Dreamland. There ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. A proud supporter of the Georgia Bulldogs.
At PT Solutions Physical Therapy, we're proud to be an official partner of UGA. In sports, getting to the next level takes lots of talent and lots of work. At PT Solutions, we believe that every young athlete deserves the opportunity to chase his or her dream. That's why you'll find our therapists and trainers on the fields and sidelines at every level, helping athletes stay healthy and be at their best. We hope you'll visit us at over 40 Georgia locations or at ptsolutions.com.
Setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Shotgun snap to Fromm, handoff Holyfield, breaks a tackle, 5, dive from the 4, did he get there? Yeah, touchdown! Boy, he leaped from the 4-yard line and just flew across the pylon into the far left corner of the end zone for the touchdown.
I've been very pleased with Elijah's, number one, his leadership, more so than his ability to get to the pylon, has been tremendous.
Elijah Holyfield with a pylon dive and score. In case you missed it, Georgia whipped Georgia Tech last week, 45-21 in a game not nearly that close. In case, you missed it. The NAPA Tailgate Show continues from the 32-yard line. We're just an arm's length away from players warming up for today's SEC title showdown. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network. Today's game plan is brought to you by Country Financial. Protecting what's important to you and preparing for your financial future doesn't have to be complicated. Take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. Well, the dispatching of Tech and Paul Johnson is in the rearview mirror, and today our Jake Fromm and the Bulldogs must step up a notch or two or three versus Alabama.
My feet have to be quicker, progressions have to be quicker, and that's one thing I remember from last year. That definitely the front of the pocket's getting there a little bit faster, and they do a great job of it.
Eric's speed of the game against a talent-laden squad like Alabama's. What's the difference going to be for Jake and his teammates today, say from last week versus Tech, or maybe 3 weeks ago against Auburn would be a more appropriate comparison?
Yeah, it really minimizes your room for error. All the windows are tighter. Everything that you have to do has got to be on point, on rhythm. You've got to have great discipline, because if you are a half step slow, now that turns into a negative play where you might be able to get away with it against teams with lesser talent. What you're seeing right now, so it's not a pro football team, but it's the closest thing that you're going to find on the college level. You've got to be able to execute perfectly, throw into tight windows, and find small wins. So instead of the 5-6 yard gains, you're going to get 3 or 4. Understand that, be comfortable with it, don't get frustrated, stay with your identity.
Well, as you have emphasized with your optimism throughout the Napa Tailgate show, the Georgia offense has been clicking like a German car. Fromm's passing has been spot on. The run game is smoking with return of DeAndre Swift to full health, and that complements Elijah Holyfield.
Big physical run game. It not only helps open up the pass game, it helps late in the game, helps control the clock, helps the defense. A good running game just helps play football. So that's what we want to come out and do, and kind of control momentum of the game.
Well, as we continue to game plan, Z, from what I've read on AL.com, running backs and tight ends have been a decent amount of success. They've had a decent amount of success in the passing game against Alabama's defense this season. Would you consider taking the air out of the ball to minimize Tua's possessions and just hammer away with our backs and throw underneath stuff?
Yeah, listen, I think there's a temptation to go do that. I wouldn't veer away at all from what we do. Our game plan, just by the nature of it, the fact that we want to run the football on the clock, if we stay true to our identity, we do take the air out of the football for Tua. Now, if that turns into big play after big play after big play, and if Alabama dictates that we go take shots, we need to take what Alabama gives us. Attack the weaknesses in their defense. Don't worry about what they're trying to do on the other side of the football. Our game plan takes care of that by itself.
So do you see today being another Rose Bowl-like shootout?
I think it can be. If you were to ask me what the score is going to be, I think it's going to be 45-42. Dogs win. I think we're going to have to put points up. But listen, I think we've got an offense that can go do that. I think defensively we've got things that we can do to create enough confusion that we take some possessions and steal them from Alabama, and then we've got an offense that they haven't seen this year that can go execute, and I think it's going to have to execute at a very high level.
All right, thank you, Eric. Top-ranked Alabama, number 4 Georgia, back in the Benz for the second time in less than a year, this time with the SEC title on the line. Drink will flow and blood will spill just after 4 o'clock on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Dog fans, the holidays are here, and that means it's time to spend money. But have you saved any this holiday season? What if I told you Associated Credit Union can help you pay for the holidays through an auto loan? That's right. When you finance or refinance your vehicle with ACU, you'll not only get the lowest rate possible, but you can most likely skip your first 2 payments. That means no car payments until 2019. Go to acuonline.org to apply for your auto loan today. Associated Credit Union. Better than a bank, and anyone in Georgia can join.
Well, the Oranges really need to capitalize here if they want to win the Family Room Championship. There's the snap. Hyper Blue is going for the blitz. Here's Energetic Orange, dropping back, looks long, throws, and touchdown! SW 6887 Naval with the 39-yard catch to defeat the Blues.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and bring home the color of your team spirit. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store today.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
You couldn't miss that wedding, birthday party, or whatever event you felt obligated to attend. So you missed the game. And more importantly, the game program. Not to worry. IMGProducts.net has got you covered with official programs and yearbooks from many of the nation's top schools, plus conference and NCAA championships. Visit IMGProducts.net to browse the hundreds of publications available. IMGProducts.net. We've got you covered.
Does your business need a lift with its current warehouse equipment? Well, Thompson Lift Truck has you covered. As the exclusive provider of Hyundai forklifts in Atlanta, Thompson Lift Truck's Superstore is your one-stop shop for forklift equipment, sales, rentals, parts, and service. Thompson Lift Truck has what it takes to keep your business moving without a hitch. Thompson Lift Truck also services all makes and models of forklifts, so we can service your entire fleet. Call 404-361-8370 or visit the LiftTruckSuperstore.com.
You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
Alabama fourth down, about 30. 19 seconds, 18 seconds. Athens, Georgia rocking. Gosh, after all that wild noise last night, how could they possibly match that tonight? Georgia leading 21-0. Listen to the stadium. Alabama's Rutledge. They rush him. They knock him down behind the line. Harris, the secondary. They threw him for another loss. Students and kids are pouring out on the field. Georgia has upset Alabama 21-0.
Vince Dooley and Georgia in one of the more memorable games from his terrific 25-year tenure as head coach of Georgia. October 2nd, 1976, 6th-ranked Georgia shut out number 10 Alabama and Bear Bryant 21-0 between the hedges. Z, after that game that night, the partying was so crazy. Well, after the game, you couldn't get up Baxter Street. Kids would not leave, and fans would not leave Baxter Street. And then that night, they shut down Millage because Millage was just one big party.
Let's have one more of those today. Yeah. We'll take over the city of Atlanta, though.
That would be fantastic. Thanks for joining us here on the Napa Tailgate Show. We'll check in with our Comcast Business scoreboard quickly. Oklahoma with a 30-27 lead. They are early in the fourth quarter, leading Texas. That is at the Big 12 championship game. Finals from earlier today, number 23 Iowa State rallied to defeat Drake 27-24. Virginia Tech became bowl eligible with a 41-20 win over Marshall. Game in progress right now. South Carolina leads Akron 28-3. There's less than 5 minutes to play in that one. Last night it was Washington for the Pac-12 championship, 10-3 over Utah in a battle of top 20 teams. And tonight you've got Clemson and Pittsburgh, Northwestern and Ohio State for the ACC and Big Ten championships respectively. This scoreboard update brought to you by Comcast Business, beyond fast. Well, the SEC title is on the line here in the Benz. Georgia and Alabama squaring off for the second time in 11 months in the same building where the Dogs suffered a gut-wrenching loss to the Tide in the Natty.
Those tight games come down to inches. At the least, very, very, very small inches at the end of a game or even throughout the game. And, you just have to seize those opportunities and make sure, that they're in your favor and not the other team.
Georgia defensive end Jonathan Ledbetter on lessons remembered. But to Coach Kirby Smart, don't call it a rematch.
Our kids got a lot of pride in performance, and they're not basing that on last year's because there's a lot of those kids off that team. I mean, there's very few. I know defensively for us, there's very few guys that are back returning starters. We got a few on offense, but two teams are different. Their team's different too.
Scott Lauren and Eric Reed join us. Lauren, how do we reconcile the sour tastes and memories that Georgia players will bring with them today to the fact that each squad has seen many changes in personnel and identity since January?
Well, you just got to go out and do your best and hope that your best is good enough. I know the Georgia players, they're not afraid of Alabama, not in the least. They feel like they can win, and that's where you start. And winning, solves all kinds of problems. And I think that you'll find that this team has had a resolve. They feel like they should have won last year. So they want to redeem themselves, even though they have good reason to feel like they should have won.
I think you have to let that go from last season and look at today as a brand new opportunity. As Kirby pointed out, it's a lot of new players, it's different teams. I mean, he's always been big on that. Each week is different. The previous week has no effect on what we're doing today with today's opponent. Last year has no effect. That whole line of thinking, and that's how Georgia has to approach this today. They can't play last year's game, last year's national championship game today. This is brand new, a lot of new faces, new teams, new opportunities. That's the way the Dogs have to approach it.
Mutually exclusive sets is what they would have taught us back in math class. So much excitement in the Bulldog Nation, not to mention for the team. Scott, will you share with the listeners who may have missed Thursday night's show with Coach Smart and that whole wild horses dilemma?
Well, he said the team was they were geeked up this week. He didn't have to he didn't have to implement a whole lot of motivational tactics to get these guys' attention in practice. They practiced indoors all week in the indoor facility in Athens because this is where the game is being played, indoors on a similar type of field. So they practiced indoors all week. There was a lot of energy in practice this week. Kirby said he had to institute a lot more whoa in practice, pulling back, than giddy up. Usually he says he's got to stick a little bit more giddy up at some point during practice during the week as they get ready for a game, but not this week. He said there was more whoa. You got to calm these guys down because Georgia has been ready to go for this game all week long.
All right, outstanding. Tua, well, he enters the contest as the most efficient quarterback in the history of college football according to his efficiency rating, 212.51. Eric Zier and Lauren, I'd like your opinion on this too. The debate is on as to whether Tua is already the best quarterback in Alabama history.
Well, Hondo, I think it's a little too early to put that moniker on him. He's obviously on a trajectory to do just that. The way that he has played, the numbers that he is putting up, arcade-like numbers. If he continues this, I think hands down, he will have that crown and that title for a long time to come. But really, it's about what he's going to go do in the future. If he continues on that path, that's great. Today, we could put a little bit of a dent in that trajectory that he's on for sure. But make no mistake about it, the way he's played has been off the charts.
Well, I've always felt that greatest in history, those kind of accolades, you have to be careful. Can trip yourself up. I recall after our 10-9 game, I flew to Miami to see Miami play Nebraska. Nebraska, the team of the century, who won. Miami won.
Yep.
And I always feel this way. I've felt this way here. The longer you tote number one, the heavier it gets. So that psychologically means this Georgia football team will take advantage of his opportunity. I'm not predicting victory, but I think those things are in Georgia's favor.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown indeed. One Alabama scribe describes the Hawaiian native Tua Tagovailoa as a shark, efficient, killing machine. And Alabama has surrounded Tua with terrific weapons.
I'm like a kid in a candy shop. It's awesome. I can go to the right, I can get a Snickers bar if I wanted to. Go to the left, I get some Skittles. So it's really fun. For me as a quarterback to be behind some, first round perhaps draft picks.
There's Tua now. Besides Tagovailoa, who are Alabama's other prime skill players? Scott Howard.
Oh my goodness! Well, just about everybody in their receiving core. I mean, Jerry Jeudy is their leading receiver. Devontae Smith, who we'll remember from the winning catch in the national championship game. Henry Ruggs is a very good receiver. Waddle is an excellent return man and receiver. They've got Irv Smith, a tight end. He's more of the pass catcher. Hale Hinchis is more of the blocking tight end, but they're a good combination. You can't forget about their number 2 quarterback either, Jalen Hurts, who was the starter for most of last season and in the previous year before losing his job to Tagovailoa. So all of those guys, and I haven't even started to talk about their running backs and the Harris guys guys, Damian and Najee, and then Josh Jacobs is very versatile. I mean, he's a pass catcher out of the backfield, and he's a bruising runner in the backfield. So they, as Tua said in that soundbite, they have a lot of candy all over the store.
Well, Alabama's tide is a perpetual tide indeed, and I read some great advice for the Dogs from Alabama.com this week, Eric Zier. Don't melt down mentally as a team when Alabama starts scoring.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Alabama, our ability to rebound and to answer and to counterpunch is going to be absolutely critical today. Alabama can put points up fast. We've seen that through the year. Even if you hang in there, all of a sudden they get up 3, they get up 7, and you don't answer. Next thing you know, they're up 17 or 24. So the Dogs' ability to stay composed, be disciplined, and answer the bell going to be critical in today's ballgame.
All right, very good. Thank you, men. We're less than an hour from kickoff between the defending national champion and the defending SEC titleist. The conference crown awaits tonight's victor, as well as a ticket to the college football playoffs. Stick around. Coach Kirby Smart with an exclusive Inside Skinny on today's matchup. 2 minutes from Mark on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
At Alpha Insurance, our goal is to be your MVP, providing you with the most valuable protection. That means saving you money on home, car, and life insurance, and providing championship service from a helpful hometown team. Call Alpha for your insurance needs today, and let us show you why we consistently rank among the top insurance companies in the Southeast for customer satisfaction.
Whether you're an elite athlete, in youth sports, or a weekend warrior, the Northside Hospital Sports Medicine Network keeps you in the game and ready for action. Our team of experts offers a full range of sports medicine services to prevent and treat injuries and improve performance. With 10 locations in the Atlanta region, the Northside Hospital Sports Medicine Network is in your neighborhood. For details, call 1-855-NH-SPORT. That's 1-855-NH-SPORT.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
When the deadline clock is ticking, an unreliable network can cost your business money. That's why you need Comcast Business. Our gig speed network is fast, and we go beyond fast with the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup, which means that even if something like construction accidentally knocks out the power, you can still upload that big presentation, email important clients, invoice customers, and not take a hit to your company's bottom line. For a limited time, switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 12/31/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours and requires Comcast Business Internet.
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
James Cook into the ball game, but he's in the slot. We go empty set from, looks at Cook. Oh, he was open. He doesn't throw it to him. Jake pulls it down and fires it into traffic, and it's caught. Touchdown, Riley Ridley, between 2 defenders. He forced it into double coverage, and Riley Ridley comes away with it. Welcome back to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the SEC Championship game and a Bulldogs Tailgate Show. We're back with Georgia head coach Kirby Smart as we get close to kickoff here between the Bulldogs and Alabama. And this segment is presented by Georgia United Credit Union, the official credit union of Georgia Athletics. How do you guys normally approach these type games? The regular season's done. You get into these championship playoff type games. What's your approach for these?
Well, our approach is very similar to the approach has been all year. You know, it's next opponent up. We had a normal game week this week in our preparation. The opponent certainly is very talented, but the way we prepare doesn't change. We try to be really consistent with our message and very honest with our players in preparation, and we've had a very similar week this week to every week.
You try to make it as normal as possible.
We always try to make it normal. I think routine's important for players, and if they have a routine, they're comfortable with that routine, they get into that routine. I know we feel that way as coaches, and sometimes you got to change it up, shake it up a bit, but that really hasn't been the mantra this week because, well, we feel comfortable about, we know who our opponent is, we know a lot about them, they know a lot about us, and we got to go out and play.
What are your thoughts on how you performed in the regular season? 11-1, outstanding season for the second year in a row in regular season games. Just your general thoughts on how your team progressed this year from day one to that last game.
I'm never happy with where we are, but I'm very pleased with where we've come from, and we have improved. And I think the measure of a coach is your effectiveness, and we're always trying to get the most out of our potential. And I don't know that we've gotten everything out of it, but I know we've gotten better. And that's important. I think we got a tremendous staff here, and they work really hard with this young group of players so that we would get better with each week. And I really feel like I've seen this team grow and get better.
Is there a position group that you've seen do that a little bit more, grow and kind of grasp exactly what you want to get out of them?
Well, I certainly think the receivers have. I think the offensive line has. I mean, some of the groups were older, and it's almost like I don't know if they got as better as the younger groups. When you're a young group, you improve. And I really felt like the offensive line and the receiving group has improved thoroughly. Some of the other groups have shown some progress. I certainly think at outside backer, we've been able to get some guys like Adam Anderson and Brenton Cox more playing time, and Channing's been able to play a little more an inside backer. But we're still a work in progress, especially on defense, but we're working that direction.
Defensive front, you've used Malik Herring a lot more the last couple of weeks, and I think he started last week against Georgia Tech, Michael Barnett, and a host of guys up front. What are your thoughts about their performance this season?
Been very pleased with their effort, toughness. I mean, Malik is a guy that spends 50% of his time on the scout team, so he's down making our offense better, but we felt like he was a really good matchup for Georgia Tech, so we didn't hesitate to start him, and he played well. This is a different kind of game. He'll still play, but it may not be in that same role. So with that, we're going to play the guys that give us the best chance to win.
Jonathan Ledbetter had a nice game for you against Tech last week, and that's kind of what you have to expect out of your seniors, I guess, right?
Yeah, and he loved it. You know, he loved being out there. He's a competitor. For him, it was like playing a little rec ball. He wanted to be out there the whole game. He didn't like it when we took him out, and he played his heart out.
What are some of the matchups you hope to win today against Alabama?
Well, the biggest thing is the line of scrimmage. If you had to pick one thing, over the years, the teams who have competed and played well or beaten Alabama, they've been able to control the line of scrimmage. That's something that's really hard to do with them. They're massive. They're big up front. That's where they build their team from inside out. And then, we've got to play well in special teams. We can't turn the ball over.
Finally, how's the health of your team? You doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing good. We've got some guys that are still dinged up, but there's been next man up mentality, and everybody's got some guys hurt.
Any final thoughts before you guys head in the locker room and then come out and kick it off?
No, I'm just excited for this opportunity and want to embrace the challenge, enjoy the moment, and I hope our fans do too.
Kirby, thanks very much. Much good luck, and we'll talk to you after the ball game, we hope.
Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Kirby Smart, and Georgia and Alabama are on the way in less than an hour. Kickoff here in Atlanta for the SEC Championship. Hondo, we'll send it back to you for more of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show.
All right, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Coach. Great stat from Claude Felton's UGA Sports Information staff. Under Kirby Smart, Georgia is 5-2 versus top 10 opponents, and only one of those games took place between the hedges. Over the last 3 seasons, the Dogs have beaten top 10 opposition in Athens once, here at the Benz last December, as well as in Jacksonville, Lexington, and Pasadena, California. Back in Atlanta with top-ranked Alabama in our sights. We'll have more from the 32-yard line where the Dogs and the Tide are warming up. The crowd is drying off, and the SEC Championship game kicks off in less than 1 hour on the Bulldog Sports Network.
If you're looking for smart ways to save money, just stop by your neighborhood Kroger. Right now, it's time for the Buy 5, Save 5 event. Just choose from a great selection of participating items. And when you buy any 5, you'll save $5 instantly at checkout. Choose from select items like Kroger brand cheese, all laundry detergent, General Mills or Kellogg's cereal, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com or use the app for more info. The Buy 5, Save 5 event is on now. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Hurry to Kroger right now for 3 days of digital deals. Through Saturday, you can take home essentials like select varieties of Tostitos tortilla chips or Ruffles potato chips on sale for $1.49. And select packages of Johnsonville sausages on sale for $2.49. Visit Kroger.com or the app and download your digital coupons today. You can use them up to 5 times in one transaction. But hurry, the sale ends Saturday. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Bulldogs, Crimson Tide. This is the SEC Championship.
Did you know termites can fit into gaps as thin as your fingernail? So why in tarnation would you trust bait stations that are spaced 20 feet apart? Neil Hondo Williamson here from my friends at Breda Pest Management. At Breda, every inch of your home is protected, and the annual renewal fee is locked in at under $200. Get better termite protection and more value, all for a better price with Breda Pest Management. BREDA Pest.com.
Hi, welcome to the Subway Simple 6 radio ad. How would you like to hear it?
From a game show host?
All right, let's play.
Thanks, Johnny. Tonight's contestants are playing for the fantastic Simple 6 menu. Their choice of 6 different 6-inch subs, chips, and a 21-ounce drink. With subs like the spicy Italian and Black Forest ham, this is one $6 deal that can't be beat. Subway, make it what you want.
At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
Is the SEC Championship game.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the NAPA Tailgate Show.
Georgia 1st and 10 on the Tech 44. Fromm going deep. He's got Hardman breaking open. Touchdown over the shoulder in the end zone, running in stride. 44 yards. Touchdown, Georgia.
Ripping up the Jackets last week. 38 first half points for the Dogs. Whole new ball game today, literally and figuratively. A couple of notes before we hand off to our play-by-play team. Today's SEC Championship game is the 27th in conference history. Alabama will make its 12th appearance, the most in conference history, and Georgia will make its 7th. That's the 3rd highest total. Interestingly, despite 19 combined appearances out of the 27, this meeting marks only the 2nd time that the Dogs and Tide have met for the SEC crown. Our Dogs look to repeat as champion in the same building where we won 364 days ago, but history is a harsh mistress. Only twice in Georgia's history of 13 SEC champions have the Dogs defended the title successfully. We followed the 1980 championship with a repeat in 81, and back that with another in 82. Today, by 8 o'clock, we'll know whether the 2018 squad will join those other legendary defenders of the crown. Number 4 Georgia, top-ranked Alabama, back in the Benz for the 2nd time in 11 months. Winner goes to the college football playoff. Kickoff less than 45 minutes away. And that's going to do it for our Napa Tailgate Show, which is engineered by Tony Schiavone and produced by Zach Jewell with on-field assistance from Chris Schiavone. For Scott Howard, Lauren Smith, and Eric Zier, this is Neil Hondo Williamson. The Ford Drive to kickoff with Scott, Eric, and Chuck Dowdle is next. Then it's Alabama versus Georgia. We'll talk to you again at halftime. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network.